How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with Session 8 of Adventures in Middle-earth. Not Wilderland, Eriador Adventures. We will be having Wilderland Adventures later this evening, but we are joined by our two players for this campaign. So without further ado, introduce yourselves. Oh, can't hear you.
Who should go first?
Dane, we'll start with you.
All right, I'll go. Hey everyone, my name is Dane or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Valinith. He is a Dunedain of not Dunedain. Oh my gosh, we're in the Dunedain stronghold.
I'm a Dunedain.
True. He is a high elf of Rivendell. He is a scholar class, meaning he can do the small amount of healing that you can do in AME, which is not much, but he can do it. And he uses a bow from the Last Alliance. Pretty sweet. I would like to say he's a very intelligent fella, not so street smart, but getting there and learning a little bit more, and very perceptive. And he likes all of his guys a lot. As well,
That's true. He is a fancy boy. He's got high-class taste. And our next character is Kyrian.
Hi, I'm Cole, and I play Kyrian, son of Durafin of the Dunedain. Of the Rivendell High Elves. Just kidding. Yeah.
Keepers of the secret sauce.
Yeah. Of the Hidden Valley Ranch. No, yeah, I'm a Dunedain, and I have a tragic backstory and hate evil and love good and do what I can to hold off the darkness.
As all good Dunedain should.
Yeah.
It's good.
And the last character, which is a DMPC, is Calefir. Calefir, captain of the Silver Swan Court of Dol Amroth. He is currently adventuring with this party. He is a captain class, which is kind of like a tanky fighter class. It's a Adventures in Middle-earth class. Actually, it's not Adventures in Middle-earth. It's a Middle-earth role-playing game class. And yeah, it's pretty cool. He has a shield, he's got some heavy armor, and he takes hits like a champ. He got bit a couple of times by a stone troll. What was it, last session, 2 sessions ago? And
Sessions.
Yeah, it's freaking something. But he is currently on a quest at the moment to go save his armor bearer and one of the emissaries that he brought with him from Dol Amroth. And so he's on a rescue mission. But he has so graciously been asked by Elrond, but also has partied with both Valinith and Kyrian to make sure that this task is complete. But this is Adventures in Middle-earth. It's a D&D 5e supplement taking place in the world of Middle-earth and taking place between the years of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And so it's currently 6 years after the fall of Smaug. And 6 years, right? Yeah, 6 years. And we are in a completely different area from where those adventures had taken place. We are in Eriador, the lands west of the Misty Mountains. And so this adventure thus far has taken the company from all the way from Bree to Rivendell to the Trollshaws and now into the Coldfells. And they are currently in the Refuge of the Dunedain. At the end of last session, or at the beginning of last session, they had come across taken captive inside a long-abandoned Numenorian castle by Rhine, which is she was a hill troll or stone troll. Yeah, she had taken some elf girl captive, which they found out was a girl by the name of Gondril, and she was being essentially tortured and was essentially going to be food for the troll. But they ended up defeating the troll, saving Gondril, and instead of abandoning their task to take Gondril back to Rivendell to get the healing that she needs, Kyrian, fortunately, as a Dunedain, knows of secret places scattered throughout the lands of Eriador, one of which being the Refuge of the Dunedain, which is in the Trollshaws, not too far away, and so they made the march there. And the nice thing is Kyrian is a wanderer, and so one of the things that he's really good at is, especially in known lands, is traversing the wilderness and not getting lost, specifically in this endless hill country of the Cold Fells. And they eventually made their way into a forest where, upon walking through, they were greeted by many bird calls, which Kyrian called back, allowing them to gain access deeper into the forest to a large tower with a surrounding wall. Not large, it's not taller than the trees that are there. If you're standing on top of the tower, you might be able to just peek your head up over the tree line, but it is very much hidden. And they were let in by a man by the name of Talendil. And so from that point, we're going to go ahead and hand it over and start our session. So at this point in the day, it is, I believe it was into the night when you guys had last left off. And as you were making your way through these gates, Kyrian, this is a place that is quite familiar with you. Not only is this a kind of like a hidden cache, a hidden refuge that the Dunedain have, this is actually one of the secret greater strongholds that are here. The only people who have access to this are Dunedain. There's very, very few people in Middle-earth that know about it, and the Dunedain wish to keep it that way. One of the biggest fears, specifically of the Dunedain stronghold, is being seen coming and going in and out of the stronghold, hence the reason it's been quite well kept. The general layout of the Refuge of the Dunedain, as I had mentioned, it's a large tower that stands about 3 stories tall in the center of basically this small forest clearing, and there is a repaired wall that goes around the front. There's some gates that do open to and from, and there's always a guard on watch there, plus a guard at the top of the tower observing things from a distance. This strategic point, for your information, Kyrian, is used for keeping an eye on the north, specifically of Mount Graham. And so if we look on the map here, where you guys currently are is in this lightly wooded area that's here on the map, but all the way up here is a very evil place called Mount Graham. This is known to be a orc stronghold, but more specifically, the wild men of Rudar have made basically home around here. An ancient people that in the days long gone, they have essentially, they felt they were abandoned by the Numenorians that were here in Eriador, and they decided to join forces with the Witch King of Angmar. And since the day of the banishment of the Witch King of Angmar, they have been spread out, but they also still to this day have a deep-set hatred of the Dunedain and all of the free peoples of Middle-earth. They actually, for those who have listened to Wilderland Adventure, they have actually started to migrate and make their way over to the Vales of Gundabad, which Theodoric has met with these wild people there. They are part of the hillmen of Rudar. And so, but anyways, the Dunedain use this as a strategic location to be able to keep an eye on the north, specifically. And it's always stocked, always well defended, and it is a place absolutely of refuge where there are a series of beds, probably about 20 beds that are free for any Dunedain company that is traveling through the cold fells, needing to resupply or rest their weary heads. And so as the 4 of you are led into the center of this encampment, you can see that there are a few people scattered throughout, but as Kyrian makes his way towards the central tower, you can see that there are a few people who stand up and kind of give him like a small nod salute as you make your way through. It is very clear at this point, Valinith, and to Caliphyr as well, that Kyrian is known here. Not only is he just a Dunedain, but he has the respect of the Dunedain that are here. The man that is leading you is a young Dunedain by the name of Talendil. He is probably about 5 years younger than Kyrian, so he is in his late 30s. and as you make your way into the tower, you can see that it is quite homey, and there's actually the smell of what seems to be baked bread. I'm gonna have Valinith make a perception check for me.
Ooh, is it delicious bread? Perception check. Sorry, I have to use the actual like D&D website today because for some reason the device that I've been using in the past, I think the battery died on it, so I can't actually get on it. So, anyways, perception you said?
Yep, perception.
Perception. Hopefully, it doesn't take a year to roll. A little less than a year to roll. 13 plus 5, 18.
18. The one thing that you
Yes.
did notice is in this encampment on the outside of the tower, there is no active fire going.
Okay. No active fire, yet there's baked bread. Valnith takes heed of this and is like, oh, the mysteries of the Dunedain. And turns to Kiri. Yeah, it turns to Kyrian and says, oh, it is quite a wonderful scent to be greeted by this baked bread. Where is that coming from?
The bakery.
I see no fire. I see no smoke. It's
Witchcraft.
impressive. Bushcraft, you mean?
What? Bushcraft. No, that's different crafts. We are proficient in that as well.
Yeah. I see.
Finding which bushes are best to hide in, or which bushes have the best berries.
It's important to know when you're in the wild like this. However, I am quite starved. I know we're not staying all that long, but I would like something to eat, if you don't mind.
And
Cool.
as you're having this conversation, Calefir, he is helping to escort Gondril, the elf that you had found in the tower, over to what looks to be a bed. And as she sits down on the bed, he makes sure that she's all propped up and ready and turns back and says, wow, this is quite the establishment. And he looks around and he sees this place looks old, very old.
Yes, just like my friend Valinith.
Well, come now. I am wizened. I am not old per se. And then Valinith goes on to a long explanation of how in the lifespan of an elf, Valinith is actually generally pretty young. In fact, our good friend Gondril here is much older than I am, or as I should say, wizened than I am.
She kind of gives a laugh, but you can see that there's a strain in her chuckle as she holds her ribs. You did your work, your elvish magic on her to heal her to a degree, but her ribs and her bones are still pretty bashed up. At this point, Talendil, the Dunedain who had escorted you inside the encampment of the Dunedain, he turns directly to Kyrian and he says, Sir Kyrian, what brings you all the way here? Last I heard, you were on mission in Bree. I believe Fornost is where you're supposed to be stationed at the moment.
Indeed. Well, my adventures and my mission led me elsewhere, as it often does. I will debrief him on all of the adventures with the dwarf and the trolls, and how the trolls seem to be more present and stirring in those forces, and how I was sent to the Hidden Valley to stock up on some ranch, and was given a mission to go help. And I will also introduce, and yes, these are now my companions on this new adventure I find myself on. This is Valinith, son of, I don't know.
Morbeth?
Morbeth.
Yes. Morbeth, yes.
And this is Calefir, son of
Findulin.
Findulin. And this is Gondril of
Finrod.
the Drill family. I don't actually know. I should have asked their surnames.
Yeah.
Well,
So
she's
so
of
Gondra,
Finrod and the
she
people.
of the Finrod line.
Oh yes, I
Yes.
did know that.
Hmm.
Sorry, it's been a long journey since I learned that information.
Caleb here, he gives a short bow and he says, "Thank you for your hospitality. This is quite the untamed wilderness, and the fact that you are here, keeping an eye out on the evil creatures that dwell in this land, it makes me feel, at least in our quest, a little bit safer."
And I
Yeah.
can concur with that, Valnus speaks up, and it is a pleasure to meet you. Again, as my companion said, I am Valineth of the Hidden Valley of Imladris. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And he nods and he says, "I'm Talendil. I am currently charged of garrisoning the refuge of the Dunedain, as you see, and you find yourselves in a lucky spot. Very few outside of our own people are able to see this place firsthand. Uh, we don't trust outsiders too often, but with Kirian's word, you are welcome here for as long as you
Quick
need."
question, clarification question.
Yes.
How does, I can't remember, how does Kyrian rank among the Dunedain? Would he be well known amongst them all?
Yes. So currently, the structure of the Dunedain, and this is good for Kirian to know. After basically the death of Arathorn, who was kind of the last chieftain of the Dunedain, there hasn't really been a chieftain that has been risen up to unite. As we all know, eventually that does become Aragorn, who ends up taking that place. But right now, there's kind of more of like a bureaucracy down on the map. So if you look here, there is the largest essentially refuge of the Dunedain is this place called the Angle, and right there is where the primary like bureaucracy does lie. And so with that being the case, you see that there's no real like central leadership, and so at the current moment in history, in the current moment in time, the lower ranking Dunedain look to the higher ranking ones for leadership, specifically in the certain areas. And so right now, Kirian is supposed to be the one who's looking out after Fornost. However, that has now fallen to Halbarad, which is the next in line to be able to look after Fornost. And Talendil
Hopefully
is
he
another.
made it back.
Yeah, Talendil is another higher ranking Dunedain who is in charge of this specific encampment. And so that's kind of how things work as far as the hierarchical structure goes.
Gotcha. All right, just so I kind of had my bearings about whether or not that was the case,
Mhm.
you know.
Yes.
So
Perfect.
Yes. And I also explained to Talendil how Halbarad went to warn the rest of
Mm.
the people, the Dunedain.
And Talendil thinks for a moment. He says, "That does seem to fit what I am saying. If I can be candid with you, sir." He looks around and he makes sure that there aren't a lot of prying ears, and he sees that Gondrel's sitting on the bed. He calls over to one of the women that are working currently in this area, sorting through supplies and whatnot. And you actually recognize this woman, Kirian. It's a woman by the name of Gil Ryan. Who she is a Dunedain, and she was actually the wife of Arathorn. And so she makes her way over and tends to, and you can see actually Valineth as she makes her way over to Gondrel.
Gondrel.
She kind of looks at you with kind of a passing glance. I'm gonna have you make an insight check for me.
Oh, well, I know who she is, but insight, you said.
Insight.
Oh, where's my insight? There it is. I got good insight. Hopefully. Come on.
Do I know She has a son named Aragorn.
Yeah, basically
21.
all you know is that he has been sent away in order to basically be safe, especially after the attack from Birder against the Dunedain. Um,
Mhm.
the settlement that was destroyed further north. The Dunedain Council essentially agreed that it was more prudent to keep the future heir for the chieftain of the Dunedain away. So he's essentially been sent away. However, that information of where he's been sent away is secret to pretty much just a few select individuals. So one of the individuals is this woman, Gil Ryan.
Yeah, 21.
21. You notice that she kind of lingers as she looks at you. There's a bit of, you can tell, a bit of worry in her eyes, but she makes her way over and she says, "My dear, you have gone through so much. Let's get some food in you." And she makes her way over to what looks to be kind of like this small little cupboard. And as she opens it, just all this, the smell of just fresh bread wafts out and fills the room. She takes that, a little bit of cheese, and she starts kind of serving it up on different plates as she begins first serving Gondril and then the rest of you. But as she's doing this, Talendil, he says, "Can we speak in private?" as he looks over at specifically Gondril. It seems the task that you and your companions are currently a part of, I might have some information that can help you. As he points basically to a staircase on the far side. It's like a spiral staircase that goes to the upper floors.
Is he talking to all of us?
He's
Just
talking
me?
to all, specifically to you, Kyrian, but he's in reference to all three of you.
Okay.
Valnith is going to stay down stairs and continue to help look after Gondril and just make sure that she's safe and she's obviously safe, but like help look after the tending for the time being. And he'll say to Kyrian and Caliphyr, "Oh, I'll be right behind you. I'm just gonna make sure our patient here gets nice and rested." And Valnith is kind of lingering back because he saw the bread and smelled it and he kind of wants some. So he's gonna stay back for a sec.
Caliphyr says, "Does this have anything to do with me? Do I need to be a part of this conversation?" Looking towards you, Kyrian, specifically.
Sorry, I was looking up how to spell Gilryan. What exactly did he say to me again? I'm sorry.
He wants to know. He essentially, Talendil said that he wants to give you information about. He might have some information that's helpful to your current quest, and he wants to speak in private. And he points to the staircase that goes up a floor. But it's in reference to all three of you, but he's speaking directly to you, Kyrian.
Okay, but it's about
Your quest.
our current quest. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it does pertain to you, Caliphyr, and I will have to share the information with you one way or other. So, unless my friend here says otherwise, yes, I think it would be pertinent for you to be there.
Talendil, he looks and he says, "You're welcome to join us, Sir Caliphyr." And so both Kyrian and Caliphyr, along with Talendil, make their way upstairs. You can see that Valnith hangs back as he is attending to his duties, grabbing some bread, munching down on it. While you're doing that, Valnith, I'm going to have you make a shadow lore check for me.
Ooh, shadow lore. Does the shadow smell like baked bread? Is that what I'm trying to decide?
The shadow is disguised as an angel of light.
Yeah. That would be a
It's to see if you are too
10.
gluttonous in eating this bread.
Yeah. It's a 10 for shadow lore.
As you look and help Gilrayan attend to Gondril, you can see that there's a heaviness, a woe that's set in her eyes. It's more than just a physical appearance thing. You can see that the small bags have begun to appear. As you look deeper into her eyes, you can see that the experience that she has gone through has scarred her to a degree.
Valnith's gonna see this, and he's gonna obviously continue to tend, and he'll look at her and he'll give her a smile, and he'll say to her, "I do appreciate the help. I did my best to look over after Gondril, at the fort that we just came from. However, it is good to have another hand to help with her healing."
I'm not much for well, the resources that we have here aren't quite elvish medicine, but I do know my way around medicinal herbs, and I can close up wounds and patch up pretty much anything. Trust me, there have been many a Dunedain that have come through here and that have needed looking after. I am very grateful for your help with this. If you will go ahead and tend to her, I have my rounds that I have to make. And she goes over to a basically like a cauldron, and there's actually a small fire. And this you notice that this fire's inside, inside as opposed to outside in the main encampment. Gotcha. And it's very, very small and controlled. And she takes basically a cloth and picks it up, and she begins ladling out what looks to be some kind of soup into bowls.
Was it catered from New Zealand?
Nah, it was catered from Rohan. The Shield Maiden soup.
Did you hear about that? I have to mention this. So those of you who don't know, in the Lord of the Rings, it's canon in the movies that Éowyn, who's the daughter of King Theoden of Rohan, makes real bad soup, and Aragorn tosses it away. It was actually unscripted, but that day they got soup catered on set that was just terrible, and so they just added it in.
Nice.
I didn't know that. That's actually funny.
So they just yeah, this is a subtle dig at the caterers for the soup. Sorry.
It's not expired wiping
edition?
chili.
I don't remember that happening. Is that in the
So
extended
it's in the extended
No.
version.
Is it just extended? No, I
It
think
could be
it's
in
just in the
both.
normal version. It's a small little bit where they're riding to
Helm's Deep.
Gondor. Yeah, or is it Helm's Deep?
Yeah,
It's
they're riding from Edoras to Helm's Deep, and
okay.
they stop over kind of on the side of the road, and everybody's weary. It's before the warg attack, and she basically is like, you know, she has eyes for Aragorn because Aragorn being Aragorn, and she's like helping feed the women and the children. So she gives Aragorn this bowl of soup, and he takes a sip, and he's just like his face just says it all. And she looks at him and is just like, "How is it?" He's like, "It's good." And she's like, "Oh, great." And then she turns back around and he spills it on himself. It's a good scene. It's a good scene. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. It is not Rohan
this
soup.
needs to be in the theatrical version. This is important.
It is quite important.
It's so important that they kept it instead of cutting it.
Can I make a quick insight check on Valnith here to see if I notice his other intention of staying behind for the bread?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. 13.
13. Yeah, it's quite obvious that he has no interest in following you upstairs. He, as soon as that cupboard opened and the wafting of bread began to fill, it's tempting to everyone, but you can see Valnith begin a little bit of drool. Coming down.
As we're following Talendil, I just say back as we're leaving, save some bread for us, Valnith.
Oh, I will. I'll also save you some soup as the soup comes my way.
You make your way up to the second floor, the three of you. And as you do so, you can see that there is nobody here, and there is another staircase that goes up to the top as well. Talendil, he makes his way over close to a window, and he peers down, almost as if scanning to see if there's anybody that's even near that could be listening to this conversation. And he puts his hands out the window and he closes the shutters, and he says, Sir Kyrian, I don't know if you are aware of the current situation, but I have lost many men in the recent months. The activity of the trolls and also of the wild men of the north, it has been raised. Not just lightly, but quite a bit. I've not seen so many large, brutish, hateful creatures roam through the Coldfells, this unforgiving land, as often as I have. In fact, and he points upstairs and he says, currently I have Strout. He's keeping a lookout up north, but just yesterday, he said he caught glimpse of a trollish creature with blackened skin, followed by 2 hill trolls making its way up north. They had prisoners with them.
Yes. That is who we are in pursuit of. One of the prisoners is this man's armor bearer.
And Calafir, he nods and he says, we were besieged not too long ago by a group of orcs. Me and my company, we were wronged by some of the men down south, and as we were tracking them, they had met up and clearly had been in cahoots with a captain by the name of Morbog. He spoke the Mordor Black speech. And Talendil, you can see some worry sets in his eyes as he thinks about it. He pulls out a pipe, like a very long pipe out of his shirt, and he begins to light it. And you can see his hand trembling a little bit as he does so, as he breathes it in and gives it a couple of puffs, and he says, the Black speech hasn't been spoken here for centuries. This is troublesome. Kyrian, what do you know of the quarry that you track? As he gives a couple puffs on his pipe.
Well, we know that they are formidable, for they have taken out this man's company of, how many was it again, Calafir?
Calafir goes back to his notes, and
You don't remember them all by name. What kind of captain are
One
you?
guy got
8.
shoved into a
8
bag.
including him.
All right. It took out 7 of 8 strong men of Gondor. And that is no small feat. And I know that they are traveling quickly to the north. And with all of the other trolls and orcs that we have come across, this does not bode well. There is definitely... This is beyond the scope of just a few ragtag bands of orcs.
Kyrian, I'm going to have you make a history check for me.
Oh, yeah. I'm proficient with history. 21.
21. One of the things that actually begins to stand out in your mind is an experience that you had the previous day at Castle Hill. While you were scavenging around, specifically inside of Rhine's chambers, you heard something or saw something about what looks to be preparations. Gondrel alluded a little bit to this, but as you had woken up the troll from her slumber by shooting an arrow down into her, she had mentioned something about how essentially you were going to pay, but it wasn't just from her. She claimed to have, if not followers, people or trolls or something that was loyal to her. And Gondrel kind of alluded more to this about how Ryan had spoken to her about that she was debating on whether she was going to stay put at Castle Hill or begin to make her migration north. There is going to be a meeting that is happening, according to Ryan, and all of the trolls have been beckoned to come to it.
Yes, the troll we defeated, Ryan, mentioned a meeting of sorts that is happening in the near future, and I'm not too uncertain that the band that kidnapped our friend here isn't taking him as some sort of tribute or something, and perhaps is part of this same meeting. Now, there's only 3 of us, and I know that you've lost many men, but we might be better off if we had a few more, or at the very least, I don't know, perhaps we should send some men to Castle Hill to hold off some of their reinforcements, or at the very least, keep them from retaking it.
Taladil nods and he says, "Your mission from Elrond, as you had mentioned. I'm confused on the purpose of it. Is this a rescue mission, or are you going just to gather information? As you know, and I have complete faith in you, Sir Kyrian, that you can keep to the shadows." But he looks at Calefir and he says, "This man, clearly, Calefir, you're a man bred for war. It seems that subtlety is not your strong suit. The way of the Dunedain is working from the shadows. That's how we've been able to stay alive for so long. We don't have armies like you do down in Gondor." And then he turns back to you, Kyrian, and he says, "I fear for you if it is just the 3 of you that are tracking this quarry. But if you are doing so, I will absolutely send men down to Castle Hill. This information that you have given helps fill in a few missing pages on what has been going on. Over the past 2 months, we have noticed the comings and goings of many trolls, specifically hill trolls, even out of the cover of darkness as well. They move much slower during the daytime, but it's odd behavior, to say the least. We've taken down 1 or 2 of them that have come too close to our borders, but for every troll that we have slain, we have lost 3 or 4 men. It's also curious, and he thinks for a moment. Their behavior is not rational, at least rational for the likes of their kin. They kill on the spot, usually. But they bind our men and they take them captive and take them back to the north. And I wonder for what nefarious purpose they wish to do so."
Likewise. And yes, our mission is twofold from Elrond. While the main mission of Elrond is not necessarily recovering our lost friend, that is a happy alignment of goals, I suppose, but to find the orc Captain Mormog, whom we have had word is potentially at the helm, leading all of this activity.
Calefir, he turns to you and he says, "Kyrian, don't be mistaken. This isn't just some normal orc. He's no mere troll, but he's no normal orc. But he was larger, far greater than the black Uryx of the Black Lands. The blade that he wielded, notched, wicked, and heavy. He wielded it as if it was nothing. I'm curious on what amalgamation of creature this is, but he is Trollkin. I can see that much.
I suppose we shall be extra careful. Or extra merciless. Bit of both.
Indeed. Caliph he looks to Talendil and he says, Sir Talendil, tell us, what information do you have going forward from here? What have you scouted as of late? You said that they were taking prisoners. What exactly did they look like? Did you get a good glimpse of them? And Talendil, he says, one was a young boy, one was an older man. Neither of them were bound, but they were being pushed along at a high pace. They seemed wary. And as I had mentioned, that was no more than a day ago, perhaps. And they were traveling with hill trolls in broad daylight. They were going much slower than I've seen them move, specifically under the cover of night. If you are to find your quarry before they reach their final destination, Kyrian, you know these lands better than most. And he gives a kind of like a deep sigh. As much as I would love for you to stay here, my men do need some encouragement, but you have a mission. The men that have been taken from us, we have not seen again. Don't know if they are food. Don't know if they're dead or if they're still alive. But we've lost far too many good men. Kyrian, if you find or discover any of our people, please bring them home.
Without a doubt. I will do all that I can. And to those who may lose their life, I shall do my best to give them the dignity of a proper burial. You have my word.
And he nods and he says, "Thank you, sir. Be careful." And he gives a sigh, and he goes over to what looks to be a small chest, and he opens it and he shuffles through a few pieces of paper until he pulls out what looks to be a map. He walks over, he holds it, and he gives it to you. This is from Elendith. You may know him as our cartographer, and unfortunately as one of the men who have been taken. His mission before he was taken was scouting out the lowlands to the north. I don't know if your adventures are going to take you that far west, but keep this. It should serve you well if you do have to go through those unforgiving places. Much has changed since the fall of the Kingdom of Arnor, and many wicked creatures have begun to rear their ugly faces. I want you to be as prepared as possible. I do fear if we lost you, much of the hope of our resistance against the Shadow would be gone.
No pressure. And I clap him on the back.
Well, yeah, if anything, you've shown that you thrive under pressure. Isn't that right, sir?
Quite. But whether I live or die on this mission, There's hope.
Just be
We
smart,
don't know
sir.
where he is, but the air is still out there. I know it. And he can bring more hope than even I.
Until that day comes. All we can do is look with hope to the future. All we can do is fight every day like it is our last. We are the bulwark against the shadow in the north, sir. Just be smart. Don't give up your life so easily.
You know me. I like life too much.
Don't we all? And Caliphyr, he sees this conversation between the two of you, and he's sat quietly as he's listening. He's leaning back against the wall in the corner, and he has his arms folded. And you can see that he is deep in thought, deep in contemplation. And he says, my men, well, me and my men, when we were waylaid and our ship ran aground, currently what I have is everything that I've been carrying with me, the clothes on my back, essentially. I do fear that if I come adorned in the regalia that I have of my people, that would put a damper on our mission. I hate to ask this of you, Talendil, but do you have any clothes more suitable for traveling quietly? And with that, Talendil nods. And with that, I'm going to have, and it's going to come at a cost, of course, but with that, this is going to be your opportunity for the three of you to be able to take a rest. So one, I want to know how long you plan on staying here before departing. Two, I want to know what resources you want to gather. And then three, before you depart, I want to, on your map, know the path that you are taking in order to get to whatever location you're trying to get to. So as we know, thus far, there are worth 3 locations of interest. So location 1 here, location 2 here, and location 3 up here. These are the ones that you know of that you wanted to visit. So currently you are at the Refuge of the Dunedain. If you have anything that you need to restock, that includes like arrows, weapons, supplies, anything of the kind, now is your place to do it. There is going to be a small fee. Fortunately for Kyrian, it's going to be free as part of your skill for the stuff that you're going
Let's
to be using.
go.
By the way, how much silver did we get from the troll horde? I didn't actually write it down.
I did. Hold on. Oh, we also have the dwarven heart.
Yeah, the dwarven hauberk. I was gonna talk to what's her bucket about it.
Yeah. 82
quickly.
silver pieces.
So
And
split
then,
that 3 ways.
and then there was a bunch of cursed stuff that we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't take 82. You said.
Yeah, I think.
What's 82 divided by 3?
A number.
Like 25 each, or 20, 20, 27
like
each.
20, yeah, 27-ish.
I'll take 27. I'm gonna put that in my.
Yeah,
in
and
my
then
coffers.
I'll take 27 too for Kyrian.
So you get the rest, whatever that is.
All right, I'll do math.
You're welcome.
54.
Anyways, as this is happening though, Valinith wants to
Get
talk a little.
28. Ha!
Hey, nice. Get an extra one for helping us out, buddy. Valinith wants to quickly talk with Gondril about the quest past the Dunedain, what's it called? The Dunedain stronghold that we're currently in, and he wants to say, so we do have this dwarven treasure that you were tasked with bringing to Lake Town. on the way, or at least getting it to Rivendell. Do you still intend on going on that quest and finishing it to the end? Or at
Gondrel,
the very least dropping it off in Rivendell?
she says, I was unsure exactly about what these dwarves were carrying. My goal was simply to get them to their destination in Rivendell safely. I can take this hauberk back, but unfortunately in the condition that I'm in, I don't know if I'll be able to so much make it on my own. But yes,
Valnith,
if there is anything that I can do to be able to complete the mission that I was set out to do, I think Gildor would be quite pleased if I was to take this treasure, this gift for kings, at least into the hands of the High Elves of Rivendell. From there, I think it will be best dispersed to where it needs to go eventually in the end.
Yes, of course. Well, of course, take your time, getting all healed up. As in, you're in no rush, and this isn't going anywhere. So just take your time with that. I'm sure the Dunedain would provide, because they know the lands better than anyone, a guide for you back there. Just remember, when you do, and Valnith is kind of speaking, like, generally kind of loud. I mean, just in his normal kind of boisterous demeanor to her. So he's not like being coy or quiet about any of this, especially because it's in a stronghold of trusted people. But he's going to say, and while you get there, of course, give my best, or give my best to Lord Elrond. If you come across too and you need some more advice, he's one of the best people to talk to. Also, Eriador, he's the second in command and one of the best healers. He's what I learned, everything I've learned from him and my mother, of course. And he'll go into talking about everything. He's like, if you do intend on spending a decent amount of time in Ladris in Rivendell, there's also a boy there. His name's Estol, and he's quite a joy. You should talk to him, and at the very least, send him my regards. As I spent a decent amount of time with him, and he's just kind of talking about all of this with Gondrel and just kind of giving her the lowdown of like all the things she could do in her time in Rivendell.
Make a perception check for me.
So slow rolling. Ooh, not great, but turns out fine. That's a 9.
9.
Yeah,
As you're having this conversation, you don't notice anybody that is in the room with you, but you can see that she's captivated by the things that you are saying, and she says, Gondril, thank you. Thank you for your hope. I know my people have long been wanderers in this land, and we are good friends of the High Elves of Rivendell. If Elrond would be so kind to grant me an audience, I would be more than happy to tell him everything that I know. And word from you would go a long way to helping to at least acquaint myself. Gildor and Elrond are good friends. They've been so for millennia. But me as a servant...
Perhaps we could write a note and seal a letter explaining all.
That is exactly where I was going with that, Kyrian. I think that is astute, and I'm assuming that at this point, Kyrian has already kind of conveyed the message to what we will be doing. And as this is going and as everything's getting prepared, Valnith is going to actually peruse and see if he can find, and he'll also write the letter to Elrond, basically everything that we've encountered up to this point, and we had made it to the stronghold of the Dunedain, and gives it to Gondril. But Valnith, speaking of like how much time we're gonna be spending, I don't think we should dilly-dally all that much, but Valnith's gonna try to go and find a better knife if he can, and some arrows.
Like a dagger? specifically?
Like a dagger. He has just like a normal basic dagger, which isn't bad, but he's gonna see if he can find anything better than
Do you have
that.
a belt dagger or just or like an actual dagger?
An actual dagger, and I also have a belt dagger.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna have you roll a d10 for me.
A D10. What? Who rolls D10s in Dungeons and Dragons? What is going on here? All right, hold up. D10. Nice and slow.
Oh yeah.
That is a 10.
10.
Yeah.
With that, as you peruse the belongings, Talendil, he brings out many of the supplies and reinforced materials that are there. And a couple of them are laid out before you. So as you're perusing the daggers, you can see that many of them seem to be pretty decent make. The vast majority of them are man-made. You can see that there are a couple orcish made ones that have been sharpened. Some of the better made, probably orcish ones that they found. But one stands out to you in particular. It's a little bit shorter than your typical dagger, but it does have a curved tip. I'm going to have you make a traditions check for me.
Tradition. Tradition. Nice and slow. Sweet. I think that's a 12. 11.
11.
11.
This dagger clearly is not made from this region. From the hands of which race, you're unsure specifically, but it does seem to catch your eye. It has a silver hilt, and there is a small gemstone in the hilt. And this one does look a little bit more promising than some of the other regular daggers.
I see, I see. Valinith will inquire about this specific dagger. Oh, this one seems quite different than the rest of them. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, this. And he picks it. Talendor picks it up and he says, this has been in our supply for some time. In fact, he examines it and he like shows basically you all of the different sides. He says, this came to us no longer than probably a year ago. A couple of our men had made their way down, all the way down south, and he points on the map that he gave you down to a basically like this like a bridge location, and he says there's a city of Tharbad, and they do dealings in. Well, they do many dealings with all kinds of customers. This dagger was bought by, unfortunately, one of the individuals who has gone missing. From what I can tell, this seems to be making of men of the Eastern folk.
Oh. Interesting, interesting. Historical indeed, and Valinith kind of rubs his chin. And he says, how much would you be willing to part with it for? Of course, he can. I would be willing to also make a partial trade. And it takes out his just normal generic dagger that he's been carrying since Rivendell. And
As Dunedain and as protectors of the land, as long as we have the ability to keep stocked for any situation, a trade would be good. Typically, I believe the man who had purchased this bought it for, what did he say? 10 silver pennies, I think. But with the trade of this dagger, I think we could let go of it for 4 silver pennies.
oh, that sounds perfect. And what about arrows? I am quite short on my quiver as well.
Yes, we have quite a few. And with that, there are 3 different sets of arrows that are actually there. He has what looks to be like 60 or 70 like man-made arrows. There are a couple elven arrows, and there are actually a couple of dwarven arrows.
What's the difference between them? Is there
So,
any difference?
yes, there is a little bit of a difference. So the regular arrows are just regular arrows.
Mhm.
They look to be fletched and a well made. Elven arrows, you get a +1 to hit with them, so you're to your hit
That's
roll
right.
if you use one. And then with the dwarven arrows, you get a +1 to your damage roll for using those.
Okay. Valnut's gonna dig through his bag and his quiver. How many elven arrows and how many dwarven arrows does he have?
He has 14 elven arrows and 6 dwarven arrows.
Okay, so he's gonna take out all of his normal arrows, which is 18. He's gonna exchange the normal arrows for all, I mean, with cost on top, I'm assuming, but all 18 for the 14 elven,
Mhm.
and then he'll also whatever's left over for purchasing the 2 normal arrows for the 2 dwarven arrows, and then 6 more dwarven arrows, and then whatever cost on top of it would be.
Yeah, so the arrows generally are pretty cheap. And with the discount of all of that, plus trading in the arrows that you have,
Mhm.
that'll be a total of 11 silver.
And that includes the knife or no?
That does not include the knife.
Okay, so I'll hand over
So 15
15 and
silver.
then take all of that, and I'll be good.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so looking upon the stuff that is available, I think Calafir is going to grab a corselet of mail. So there's most of the gear is made for men, man-made, and so he doesn't have trouble finding mail that would be able to fit him. And that is pretty much going to use up all of his funds. It's going to be 30 silver, so he's got 18 left.
is this better than his already ones that he
No,
had?
but it doesn't have disadvantage on stealth.
Okay, that makes sense. But he's so thick.
He's pretty thick. Is there anything that you need, Kyrian?
Yeah. What am I doing, guys? With hide armor? Fool I've been.
That's just leather, isn't it?
Nah,
Yeah.
it's like this. It's like the 2 steps above just regular leather.
Yeah.
Oh,
What light armors do we have here?
Light armor.
That's technically a medium armor.
Yes. So as far as light armors go, he has there's a few leather jerkins. Some of them have different designs. Some of them are better or worse looking than they are. And he actually, as you peruse these, he takes away the more worn out ones for you, Kyrian, to look. And then there is a leather corselet. And so your leather corselet's going to be, I think, the equivalent of studded leather, and then your leather jerkin is just like leather armor in D&D. So the modifier, so leather jerkins 11 plus dex, leather corselet's going to be 12 plus dex.
Cool. Is there any medium armor?
Yeah, so they have some hide armors that they have, which is 12 plus dex modifier, maximum of 2. Corselet, they have some corselets of mail as well, which is one of what Caleb
Does
here.
that give disadvantage on deck?
It does not. And so corselet of mail is a 13 plus dex modifier. And then as far as medium armor, that's all they have. And then they have 1 suit of heavy mail, which is just like a base 16 armor.
Okay. I guess it doesn't super matter which I do, but I'm gonna do the studded leather.
Cool. You can go ahead and add to your inventory. So if you go to the manage inventory, if you type in leather corselet, it should have like a Adventures in Middle Earth tag on it, and you can go ahead and add that to your inventory.
I have a quick question too, just for verification, Kyle. So for elven arrows, it's just arrows plus 1, right?
Yeah, and so make sure to track
Dwarven
this
arrows is
maybe
a
in
thing.
your notes. Was that Dwarven arrows is a thing?
Is a thing. So I have
Does
them.
it have the
It's
same? I don't
+1.
remember actually making those.
It's a +1 to attack.
Nice. Oh heck yeah.
So, but the arrows +1 are the elven arrows, right?
Yes. Okay, sweet. I'm glad. Yeah. So the arrows +1 are just elven arrows.
Okay. So
Yep.
And I will actually give them my hide armor.
Okay.
I'm realizing the hide armor capped me out at a dex +2, and I have dex mod +3, so I'm like, what am I doing?
Yes, you get like basically a +1 armor for that. That's great.
Yeah, so now my armor class is 15 instead of
Yo.
14. I mean, it only went up,
Let's go.
but still, I mean, I'll take it.
For AME, we'll take
know.
that.
I know.
By the way, what's this knife called that I got? I can just write it in my notes if it's not in there, but
Yes. Blade of the East.
and what does it do? Is it just
It's
nifty
just
looking?
it's a +1 dagger.
It's a +1 dagger. Okay.
It doesn't
And
have any. It
then-
doesn't have any extra skills or anything attached from it. Just
That's
+1
fine.
to hit and damage.
Cool.
Do they have a like a +1 broadsword or any broadsword that's better than the one I currently have?
Roll a d10.
D10.
Essentially on an 8+, yes.
Dang it! No, it's a 6.
Okay. Yeah. So no, basically all that they have is just like weapons that they have gotten from plunders or loots or like stashes.
Cool.
So yeah, as far as that goes, that's all that. Any food or anything else like that, travel materials. One of the things that I did notice is while you guys were this is kind of just like DM talking like over the top. Well, as far as like maybe materials that you could use for like, I think there was like someone had rope, but some of the stuff that you had was quite like you didn't have a lot of extra stuff in your packs to be able to be useful for anything else.
True. That is true. Is there any like sort of like adventurers kind of pack that we could get that comes with just a little bit of everything? That doesn't add it to a bunch?
Not really, but they do have a couple of things. So they show you just their general supplies, and a couple of things that might be of interest. So they have some stuff for like horses. So they have like saddles and some kind of leather bardings and stuff. But since you don't have anything like that, they have some thieves tools. So some lockpicks and all that. They have what looks to be some lanterns, some lantern oil. Some like old manacles that they have gotten, different quivers. They have 2 grappling hooks. One has a 10-foot rope attached to it, and the other one has a 50-foot rope attached to it. And then what else? What else would be useful? They have parchment, so if you need parchment like that, that's good. They have rations, and rations are just going to cost money, just generally for everybody, including Kyrian.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of just food, their supply. But yeah, things like that. They have some tinder boxes. They have one thing. Actually, I'm going to have the two of you. I'm going to have all 3 of you guys, actually. I'll roll for Caleb here. Roll D10 for me.
D10. Roll that D10.
6.
Hey, I got a 6 too.
And Caleb got a 4. One of the things that actually is interesting is there is a war horn as well on the table, and it looks to be made of a buffalo's horn. This is interesting. So one of the uses of a basically a war horn is it has a certain number of charges that you can use that reset daily, and so every time you take a short rest, it has a number of uses, and in this case I believe it's one use, and essentially when you blow it, all creatures within a 30-foot radius of you have to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you.
What's the wisdom saving throw based on? Like,
so yes, the wisdom saving throw is based off of your charisma score plus your proficiency modifier.
I was gonna say, Caliph, maybe you should have it. Although I don't know if we want our enemies afraid of you per se. We don't want them coming after myself and Kyrian. Running for the hills.
Caliph, he nods and he says, well,
It
war horns we have used down in Gondor to quite an effect, but these are weapons of war. It's more to help if you are outnumbered or outmatched, or to call reinforcements to your aid. But a strong war horn is enough to instill fear in many foes.
Kyrian, would you be interested in this war horn?
I think Caliph here would put it to best use myself.
How much would that be if I were to purchase this? And they say 10 easy. And he thinks for a moment and he says, well, this money's just sitting in my pocket doing nothing. So he's gonna go ahead and purchase it for 10 easy or not easy. Oh my god.
Good
silver.
outlook.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Valnet's gonna purchase 2 more days of rations. And he's also gonna get the grappling hook and maybe some of Thieves' tools as well.
Okay.
The 50-foot grappling hook.
We only probably need 1 set of these things, and I am willing to be the one to spend the money.
Oh, are you sure?
Absolutely.
I mean, I did my best back at the fort, as you saw.
Indeed you did.
So what are we purchasing again?
I will purchase both of those things. I'll get a set of Thieves' tools, unless you also want a set. We can both get a set, but
yeah, they have 3 sets of these tools.
how many grappling hooks too? You said?
So 2 grappling hooks, 1 with a 10-foot rope, and then 1 with a 50-foot rope.
Nice.
Maybe I should grab the 10-foot and you the 50?
I'll grab the 50, yeah.
The 10-foot one is going to be 1 silver. The 50-foot one is going to be 3 silver, and then each of these tools is 5 silver.
Okay, I'm gonna grab one just in case for spare.
Yeah. How much
case
were the
you
Thieves'
use
tools?
5
5.
silver.
Okay, so 8 silver total.
And then rations. How much for rations? I'm getting 2 days worth of rations.
Yeah, and so each of those are 5 copper pieces, and so 2 of them is 1 silver.
1 silver, okay.
Yeah, Caliph gonna grab some rations too. He's gonna.
How many? Because we still have the. Is the Aethalos like a healing thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
good. Keep it. Yeah.
rations,
It's
yeah.
nice.
It's basically your potion in this game. So,
Sure.
so as far as rations go, Caliph is going to purchase 6 of them.
Whew, thick boy. Needs to eat.
I will get 4.
Yeah, I've got 7 rations, and I can't imagine we're gonna be using more than that. Hopefully. So,
Fair enough.
And then grappling hook.
Time to go shopping.
I know, right? Is this our first shopping episode?
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
I think in all AME. This is like the first shopping.
At the, Dunedain Depot.
Oh yeah. It is a resupply, so it makes sense.
Wait, aren't they free for what's his name?
Everything
Tyrion?
but the rations is free.
Oh, you don't have to spend any of the money on the grappling hook or the. Look at you.
Oh yeah.
Look at you, Kyrian. Add that back.
Yeah, what was that? 3
8.
plus
8.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm loaded.
I'm loaded up too.
FYI, these so this specific outpost is definitely more stocked than the vast majority of them, and so this is a good place to restock for they have a wide variety of things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do they have like an empty bottle that I could like scoop up some?
They have some flasks. They have some
berries or
bottles.
something?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want some fairy bottles, absolutely.
Some moo milk.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta travel with some milk, and when you get wounded, you're just like, he needs some milk.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a jar of mayonnaise, but I already have my supply of ranch from the Hidden Valley.
What
that I
about,
haven't used
like-
up
If
yet.
you fall off of the roof of a house, you got milk for that.
Question: Do they have a cooking? Like,
Yeah. Cooking
Wok.
pots and like travel pots and pans. Yeah, they do.
Like a wok that I could also use as a shield.
Technically, you could use any wok. They have some cast iron pans. If you want to purchase some cast iron pans.
Nah, it's a stealth mission. We'll be fine.
I can't think of anything else.
And we're staying just long enough to rest. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So after 4 hours, Valnath is ready to go. He's got his long rest in because he's an elf. So.
Nice.
By the way, part of the reason Caliphyr bought all those rations is because he's out of rations.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
I mean, he's been on the road for some time, so yes.
Yeah.
We're just keeping track of shadow points in notes.
Yep, in notes.
This is not an opportunity to get rid of that, right?
No. So basically, it's just like the healing effects of a long rest. For that, so.
Okay. So is that like literally just Rivendell is where we can?
Right now, as far as like the sanctuaries that you know of, the two places that you've been that are considered sanctuaries are Rivendell and Bree. There are other places within Middle Earth that are. So, for example, actually, I guess another place that you would know of would be Fornost. So, Fornost is more than just a fort. It's actually like a defended like fortress kind of city.
Where is that again?
So, Fornost is up here.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like main cities, basically.
Yeah, so like any like main locale, or like for example in Wilderland Adventure, there's like a inn called the Easterly Inn, but there's like sometimes like specific like areas that would be that. Technically, you could use the Refuge of the Dunedain if you decided to take like a fellowship phase at the Refuge of the Dunedain. That would also for you, Kyrian, be one of those things that you could do. But in the cases of like your current adventure, it takes longer to recover from shadow than just like instantly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, anyways.
What about Tom Bombadil's house?
Tom Bombadil's house, you remove all points of shadow.
Nice.
And you learn to sing.
Yes.
Yes.
Old Man Willow. Let them go.
Oh, Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
So I have a quick question too. I know technically this is a long rest and it's a sanctuary.
Mhm.
However, my news from afar ability says that it resets after a long rest. But
What
then it
does?
also says after at the start of an adventuring phase, but we're currently in the middle of an adventuring
Yeah,
phase.
so if it resets after a long rest, then this is a long rest that you're going to reset it. Meaning this is like a full like 8 hours of sleep resting session for you before you
well, I'm going to use my news from afar then, and basically I get to make a passive ability check based off of what you deem is appropriate based off of that. And then I add an extra +5 based on your appropriate passive ability checks.
Okay.
And then so my passive perception or passive investigation or passive insight. So whatever based off of those.
I would say
then I would get a +5.
I would say what kind of information are you looking for specifically?
Specifically if there's a specific direction and or any news of this stronghold we're going to that could be useful for when we get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm gonna have
perception,
you make
investigation, or insight.
I'm gonna have you make an investigation check, a passive investigation.
Okay, that'd be a 19.
19 for your
my passive is 14 + 5.
Perfect.
So 19.
Yeah, well that's easily gonna get you some info. Let's see. Let me pull up my notes real quick.
It's the first time I've used that. I've had that since like the very beginning, and I keep forgetting to use it. So,
All right, so as you make your way around, fortunately, you don't have to get as much sleep as everyone else. So while everyone's catching some Z's and some shut-eye, you're making your way around just the encampment, as it were, behind the walls. There's one particularly grizzled-looking person that seems of interest, and they're on top of the wall looking out into the darkness. You approach them, and the guy goes, "Oi, what can I do for you, elf?"
Oh, why, hello, good sir. You seem to be quite grizzled by the nature of being out here. We will be heading up north and explore.
Is that the way you greet? Is that the way you greet all of the people who host you?
Oh, I don't mean it as a bad thing. I mean it as in you seem experienced, and you have maybe potentially some information we can have. We're going to save your compatriots who have been abducted and taken up north. So I'm just looking for more information about the specific what's it called again? I forget what it's called again. Where we're going. This place. Was there a name for it?
Oh, like this
the
place?
this
northern
place?
place? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one. Let me go ahead and put a marker on the map. This place.
I can't remember if there was a name for it specifically.
Let me see. I don't remember if I gave you the name of it.
Either way, that's the place I'm talking about.
Cool. Right at the moment, we're going to go ahead and take a quick bio break. So read over your notes, do everything that you need to. We'll be right back, everybody.
All right.
All right, we're back. How's it going? All right, so
Sorry, I had to get my dinner.
it's okay. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to do so. But anyways, and so this man, he looks to you and he says, "Oi, I've seen a fair few things here and there. Rumor has it that, at least in my understanding, that they've made it their way to, that they have been taken up north. The only fortifications that I know of that far north is an old abandoned fort by the name of the Broken Keep. At least that's what we call it around here."
Okay. Broken Keep. Broken Keep. Is it an abandoned fort, or is it heavily guarded as far as you know? What is the best way to make our way in if we need to make our way into that keep?
I'm unsure about the state of it now. It's quite dangerous the further north that you get. There was some time ago, probably 10 or so years back, that I made my way north to the Broken Keep, and it was largely abandoned from what I could tell. But it is an ancient fortress, probably, I would assume, from the men of Arnor. Yes. Yes, in my younger days, I had an adventurous spirit in me. In regards to, perhaps, ways in, there are a couple of ways of note. One of which being, well, there's a big gaping hole in the wall. It's easy to just walk right through. If it is guarded, though, that might be the easiest way to get spotted. And he actually, as he tells you this, he says, "Do you have parchment?"
Oh, yes, I always keep that on me, and actually Valence just opens his journal to, like, the next empty page.
He essentially gives you this. He draws out. The best way to approach is if you go along the Horwell. The Horwell, you'll find some decent cover, but many of the trolls that have been making their way to and from have been making their way inland throughout the hill country of the Cold Fells. If you stay close to the Horwell, not only will you be supplied by water, but you will eventually run into this fort. It's impossible to miss. It stands atop a large hill, and he draws out some locations. So location 1. Here on the map, he tells you there's a big gaping hole in the wall, as I had mentioned. You can just simply walk in. If you are approaching at night, you might be able to go undercover, but the place to look out for is, and he draws location 2, the keep. The keep is largely intact from what I can remember, and has many strategic positions. The Broken Keep is sat on top of a hill, and it has 360-degree views in all directions. If there were anyone to come through the hole in the wall, it would easily be spotted from the keep. And then he thinks, but there is one more place that you could potentially enter. And he draws location number 3. In the west, there's a large gorge that is between the hill and the Misty Mountains. If you make your way down to the bottom of the gorge, there is a tunnel. Tunnels that I believe existed from way back in the day. It was a hidden tunnel, and it if there was a siege, it was a way for the Numenorians to be able to make their way in and out. But I am unsure of the state of it now. That was ancient times, and it could be caved in. But from what I remember, you could at least go into the entrance, and I took shelter in there a little bit when it was raining back then when I visited there. But do be careful. The hole is big enough for any creature to be able to find it, to be able to sneak its way into the depths. As from what I've known, not too many savory creatures like to be out in the daylight. That would be a ideal place to be able to stay.
I appreciate your help. However, it is curious that the trolls are staying inland. In my experience, being close to the river means that there's more that we could potentially run into. Are there any other, if we do take the river route by the Horwell, is there anything we should keep an eye out in these northern regions of Eriador?
The hillmen of Rudar, they have been making their way further and further south. Telendil has been quite concerned with them. Many of the time, they do scour the shoreline, as you had mentioned. While maybe trolls don't venture there, the main paths that go north and south throughout this region are along the Horwell. Your chances of running into bandits or even hillmen are higher if you do take that route, but I would rather take a handful of hillmen any day over a troll or two.
Agreed, my good sir. Well, I appreciate the information, and I appreciate your help. I hope with my comrades to bring back the rest of the Dunedain here safely, so that way we can continue to protect Eriador and the surrounding areas.
If you have any further questions, my name's Midavash. I am a well of information if you need me. And with that, that will be your 3 questions and the information that he's given you.
Cool. He's a Dunedain, right?
He is a Dunedain, yep.
Okay. Is he old? I mean, he's grizzled, but is he old looking?
He's grizzled. He's probably in his 90s, but for Dunedain, that's not horribly old.
Yeah, it's like slightly past mid-age.
Right.
Cool.
It's past his prime.
I will take that past his prime. Yeah, I will take that back to the rest of the group. Show him this map, and kind of discuss. Okay, before we do head out, these are kind of the specific areas that we can look out for, and I'll explain the hole in the wall. Maybe if we do decide to do that, it would have to be in like a time of day in which there's no one looking out. We have to be careful for the keep, as in like there's always an eye on it, and then the gorge is always another way to be able to do so. But I explained taking the Horwell path is probably a little bit safer than going the overland as far as trolls go. So that's what I'll say to Caliphyr and Kyrian.
Caliphyr, he points out to Kyrian as the morning dawns and you're preparing and packing and getting ready to leave. Actually, at this point, you see that he's no longer wearing his plate armor, but he's in fact wearing this corselet of mail on top of kind of like this like leather jerkin, as it were. And it fits tighter. Well, it doesn't fit tighter, but it makes less noise. It's much lighter weight, and he has his great shield on his back and his sword at his hip. But he says to Kyrian, well, what do you think, Kyrian? We've been traveling overland throughout the hill country, and you said that you know these lands pretty well. Do you think we can stay hidden if we do so? Because the one thing, like as you guys have this map in front of you and are determining your path, it looks like the Horwell is a little bit of a longer route. But if we cut our way through the hills, as long as there's no danger of getting lost, it might be a little bit quicker. And generally speaking, Kyrian, I'm going to have you make a survival check for me.
In our known lands. So I think I have advantage.
Yep.
Good thing. 23.
23. So, generally speaking, the direction that you will be going, the Horwell goes northeast. However, it is a little bit windy. So if you stick to the banks of it, it would probably take you an extra half day in order to get to the Broken Keep. If you wish to go the river route. But essentially, like, mechanically speaking, if you go through the middle, the chances of an encounter are slightly higher.
Gotcha. So basically our options are stick to the bank and follow the winding path.
Mm-hmm.
Or
With a little bit of a time delay, or go quicker over the middle of like more through the hills with a higher chance to roll an encounter.
right, but like we'd still be kind of along like
yeah, you'd be
here and there, like we'd come across it every so often.
Yeah, every so often you would.
Quick question. How much? I can't remember. What was the day ahead start they had on us?
So they had a day start the night before. So they have 8 hours more of a head start than you do at the current.
And were they moving with haste?
As Talendil had mentioned, during the daytime they move slower.
Okay. Valineth will reiterate that information and saying that if we do move with haste, I think sticking to the banks would be smart, just to avoid any potential sightings or encounters. Because I find if we, personally, I feel as if we do engage anything along the way, it could be potentially dubious, as in our safety, but also potentially giving ourselves away that we're coming if we do happen to have to make a run for it.
Not much is true. However, this is a mission of haste, is it not?
It is, but if we make haste through, I think we could get there with still being fine. The trolls themselves don't move quickly during the day. We can make up some time. Yes, they will make it before we do, but I don't think half a day will be all that big a deal. But who am I to say? It just
You would
depends
want
on.
to try to cut them off before they even make it there.
That could be true. How many trolls did they say were making their way up there?
From what they
Because they're hill trolls.
yeah, what they saw, it was Captain Mormog and 2 hill trolls.
I don't know if even the 3 of us would be able to take that at all, even if we do decide to cut them off. I think this is more of a mission of stealth. And just one stone troll gave us, well, at least our good friend Caleb here over here, quite a beating, and we had a ballista on hand.
And a
I
good
feared-
chomping as well.
That's true, and we would have a tough time fighting not only the captain of all this, but also the 2 hill trolls. I just think that's kind of dubious.
Kyrian, I'm gonna have you make a nature check for me.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Do I have advantage on that too? I don't know.
No, this is more about creatures as opposed to the lands that you're in.
Yeah. I got you. Oh, lame. 10.
So there's a hierarchy of trolls. The lowest kind of the trolls are the stone trolls. They seem to be the less intelligent, but they're also quite brutal as well. So they tend to be more instinctually driven. The next one are
Ryan.
Yeah, so Ryan, that's exactly what Ryan was. The second set of trolls are going to be your mountain trolls. They're the largest of the trolls, but they're also not incredibly intelligent either. They, in just stat-wise, they have the highest HP totals and take more damage, and so they have a higher rating. But they're also, as I had mentioned, not intelligent. They don't have a lot of tactics other than just like their brute force. So they're basically like a stone troll plus, essentially. A stone troll plus 1. And then you have your hill trolls, which are around the same size as stone trolls. However, they're intelligent. And so they actually have the ability to use strategy. They have the ability to be sneaky when they want to. They know how to use the environment to their advantage, and which makes them quite deadly, especially if they are aware of you. And then finally, there are snow trolls, and snow trolls are like wild creatures that no one can tame. They're basically like the dragons of the troll community, where
Wait, what?
Snow trolls.
Snow. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you
snow
said stone again.
Snow trolls. And so they have the ability to like wreak absolute havoc, and they're super territorial. They won't pursue you outside of their territory, and they won't actively hunt you, but they are the most lethal of all the trolls if you were to come across them.
And these are hill trolls that we're dealing with.
Yes, so you're dealing with hill trolls specifically.
Yeah, I say we stick to the river as well and make haste.
Mm-hmm. So whatever kind of rest that we need, I think we should just get the minimum amount of it and be on our way.
I agree.
So
Valnith
this was
pulls
this was the
everything
morning, but after you guys had slept, and so you guys are pretty much preparing to leave. And so if you want to leave now, whenever you're ready.
I will grab. Hold on, looking at the name Talendil.
Mhm.
And I'll basically just. Have we established what we're doing with Gondro?
Yeah. Valnith told her when in her time, stay here for as much recovery as you need, but then she does intend on going back to Rivendell with the armor, even if she does need some Dunedain escort, or even if we're back by then and we make our way back to Rivendell, she can join us on the way. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say she might recover better in Rivendell, but she's recovering here.
Well, she gotta make the journey out there is the thing, which could be.
I know. I was just
tedious.
saying if we're sending people to the castle
Mhm.
hill,
Mhm.
she could go with that bunch. But
Oh, there you go.
but no, that's
We'll
okay.
have her decide.
No, never mind. That's all.
With that being the case, your rolls, from what I remember, your travel rolls. Kyrian, you were the guide and the scout.
That was all the things that weren't taken.
I think you were the guide and the scout.
Valnith was lookout.
Valnith was lookout, and that's right. And Caliphyr was the hunter. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. With that being the case, Kyrian, as a guide, I'm going to have you make a departure check. This is going to be a survival check for me.
Yeah, buddy. At advantage, yes.
Yep, at advantage. Known lands.
23.
You easily are able to pick up as you leave the forest. You can easily find Mormog's trail. He makes his way just inside, like out of sight from like the riverbanks, but he's making his way through the hills. And so as you continue to follow the river, every now and then you are able to catch that you are in the right direction and you are not losing him. As far as that goes, the journey that it's going to take you from here to the Broken Keep should take no longer than I would say 2 days at the pace that you are going.
Cool.
And so if you can be quick, you can try to do a forced march, and you could get there within a day if you wish to do so.
But that would add.
Well, essentially what that would mean is you would have to make Constitution saving throws and gain points of exhaustion on failure. The more days in a row you do a forced march, the higher the DC gets.
I see.
So it'd just be 1 day's worth of forced march.
Yeah, it would just be 1 day and night of forced march.
What do you guys think? I'd be willing to try if we want to try to ambush them in the keep. But is the keep already under enemy rule, do we think?
We don't know. That's kind of why we're going to check.
Caliphyr, he mentions, he's like, but it is curious though. They said that there's an increased presence of people and trolls in the area. I wouldn't be surprised that if with that increased presence there would be some kind of lookout at this keep. It's from what Valnith told us from speaking with Midavash. It seems to be an ideal strategic position. So at least there might be eyes, even if there's not a full army waiting to ambush us or anything.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd be more than happy to make that forced march if we want to make up that time.
Yeah.
I've spent many a day commanding an entire company where we've had to force march, so I can do it as well. I feel quite well rested, in fact.
Perfect. All right, what do we have to roll?
All right, I'm going to have you make Constitution saving throws, all three of you. Yeah, no advantage or anything on these, just normal Constitution saving throws.
Please be good. Oh, what is that? I'm going to use my inspiration.
I have inspiration too. I'm going to use it too.
That was
Wow.
not great.
No. It was hovering on a 14. And
Well,
then
to be fair,
2 and 3.
Oh yeah.
6.
Wasn't meant to be, guys.
I guess not.
Kieran, what did you get?
2.
2. Yeah.
Oh.
All of us gain 1 point of exhaustion.
I rolled a nat 1, so.
Ooh,
God.
rough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where do I put the exhaustion point again?
So under conditions, if you click that, at the very bottom, there's the points of exhaustion.
Is it the same?
Yeah, it's all the same. It's still the same.
Can we
D&D
only
5e
get
rules.
rid of it via long rest?
Yes. However, there are some abilities that allow you to be able to potentially get rid of it, in certain items that allow you to get rid of it as well. And so that's why it's like such a big deal to like not gain points of exhaustion, because it's really hard to remove them for your adventure. But yeah, everybody has a point of exhaustion as you march.
We
So
are
what? Disadvantage
struggling.
on everything?
Just skill checks, I think. Yeah,
Oof.
skill checks. I
That's
think.
freaking
On
rough.
ability checks.
Yeah. Yep. So that's fun. Not saving throws though. But that also includes like attack rolls and not
That's
damage
level
rolls.
3.
Oh, attack rolls is level
Level
3.
3 says disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Got it.
So level 1 is
Ability checks.
Just ability check.
Yeah,
So
ability checks,
investigation,
yeah. Mhm.
disadvantage, or anything like that. Cool. All right, and as you make your way through this wilderness, one of the things that you do notice is it is currently springtime. Kind of later spring, in the rainy season you could tell has really hit. Up into the hills you see that the snow melt has made it quite muddy as it's kind of has made its way down to the banks, and you've actually seen that there are a couple of mudslides. And so while you are forced marching, you're not slowed down, but you are trudging your way through muddy banks, and that has more than just the ability of because it's not slowing you down. You're exerting extra energy in order to actually march through this sucking mud. I'm gonna have Kyrian. I'm gonna have you make an investigation check for me. This is gonna be normal, so since it's disadvantage plus it'd be advantage even though you have disadvantage, so it'd be normal.
But is this before or after we're exhausted? At what point do we get exhausted?
We'll say at the end of your journey you get exhausted. So this is before. So like at
Nice.
the end of your journey, because it
Good
was
question.
a long journey. That's actually a really good question. Yeah.
Investigation. Yeah, I don't think that it's still normal because I think it's just survival.
Okay. Perfect.
Plus some other maybe wisdom based ones, but
Okay. So investigation.
19.
pretty good.
You see that along the banks there is a small camp that has been made. And this is closer to the evening of that first night. So you've pretty much traveled already for like 16 hours straight, essentially. And by the banks, you see that there is a small campfire that is smoldering. From the looks of it, it looks to have been recently put out, no more than 2 or 3 hours ago. However, along the side, you can tell that the people that were here left in a hurry, and they have left a couple of things on the shore, on the banks of the shore. A couple of bags, as it were.
Fascinating. Can I try to do like a survival check to try to discern what went down, like other tracks of like enemies or like what direction?
Your investigation check shows that the creatures that were here were of human size. There are 3 sets of foot tracks of people that are here, and they seem to have left in a hurry. You don't see any sign of larger troll prints or anything like that.
Valnus gonna look at the bag and see if he can decipher any quick information.
Okay. As
about
you,
such things.
as you look at this bag and open it, you can tell that it is this hemp bag that seems to have been made from the men of the southern part of Eriador. And this is pretty frayed, pretty worn. You can tell that it's seen a lot of use. And inside there are some ingredients for food. Specifically, there is a dead chicken. It hasn't been plucked or anything yet, but it looks relatively freshly killed, which tells you that there is either a farm or there's wild chickens in the area.
Okay.
A couple other things that are inside this sack is what look to be farming materials. And so what looks to be like a sickle, like a small sickle to cut plants and weeds, and a couple of herbs. I'm going to have you roll a d6 for me, Valinith.
A D6. Let's see what we get. Slow and steady wins the race. 5.
There is one Athelas that's in here,
Ooh.
and also some reed mace.
Nice. Valinith is going to take these and thank them for thank whoever left these for the opportunity for us in case we need them. And if he ever gets the opportunity to thank these people if they're not evil, he'll do so.
Okay, sounds good. But yes, the direction that these footsteps are going is along the bank northwards, the direction that you are going.
Cool.
Okay.
Valinith will turn and says, "These seem to be a cultured people, a civilized people. If anything, seem to be of honest work." And he pulls out the chicken and the sickle and
Do I
everything.
know this area well enough to know if there's any farmers or anyone that would be just traveling this road frequently?
Specifically, the Coldfells and this side of the Horwell, which is the river that runs north and south, there are very few people who travel this way. However, in Rudar and the Lonelands, yeah, every now and then there are like small little settlements, some farmers that decide to make their way out there. Specifically, people from the Brelands will sometimes wander off into the wilderness if they want larger pastures or anything like that. The one thing that you do know is the area around the Breland is either barrows or the land has been claimed. And so in the Dunedain, it's actually kind of been a thorn in the Dunedain side because you're tasked with protecting the free peoples, and there are people who do make their homes in these really wild lands, and that just means that you have to keep an extra eye out on the once abandoned lands. These people are pretty easily ambushed by thugs, hillmen, bandits, anything like that seek refuge in this barren place.
Okay.
But the fact that they're on this side of the Horwell is a little interesting too, because a lot of the farmers will not go into the cold fells to make any. Nothing can live in the cold fells, like especially during the wintertime. Like the vast majority of the cold fells are barren, even from trolls. They usually make their way more into the mountains or forests or whatnot.
Yeah. I check my dagger to see if there's any orc presence nearby.
As you pull out your dagger and you check, there is no dim glow or anything like that. Your blade seems still. However, I'm gonna have you make a survival check for me.
Sweet.
Forget you always have that.
Oh!
I'm rolling well, except for the forced march.
Yep, me too.
Like,
As
All good.
Valinith is preparing to grab this bag and take it away, you stop him in his tracks. You can see that there is what looks to be a rope system that has been tied to it. It looks pretty rudimentary made, but it is a snare trap that is designed to lift people up into the air against one of the trees on the banks.
Oh.
don't pick anything up.
Oh, yes. Is there something wrong with this bag?
Yes, I believe this is a trap.
Valnith looks around and sees the rope and is just like, "Egats! A trap!"
I will cut the rope, disarming their trap, basically.
Mhm.
Well, maybe we could use it to our advantage. I will say, Caliphier, check the perimeter. I don't think our people are far off. And I will cut the rope.
All right, so Caliph here is going to go ahead and make an investigation check. This is going to be a disadvantage because he's not exhausted yet. Ha! So 14. He's going to go ahead and check the perimeter. As he does so, he can see, he follows the tracks northward, and they dart, probably after about 200 yards, they dart due east, and so they go into the hills. As he does so,
I'm gonna
he
drop
can.
my bow, by the way.
Mhm.
Get ready. We may have company.
Valnith will as well. And he'll cock a elven arrow.
As he follows this, he hugs himself close to some of the steep hills that are along the banks, and he freezes for a moment as he hears some low voices speaking, and they you can tell that they're people that are waiting and hiding, waiting in ambush, and they are not the voice of orcs or anything, but they seem to be people.
Nice.
Caliphier, you can still see him, and this is like in the night, like early evening, and he does like his like be like he like points like.
Valnith turns to Kieran and says, "Well, shall we foil their plan, or shall we keep moving?"
It is my duty to keep these lands safe, so I suppose we deal with them.
I see. Well, are you prepared for a fight?
Always.
Valnith clears his throat and says, "Ye hoodlums who set this trap, make yourselves known. You are dealing with Dunedain and an elf. And a man of Gondor."
Make an intimidation check for me.
Even your insults sound like a song.
Yeah, nice. I think that's a 7. Hold up. Whoa! Never mind. It's a natural 1. It's a natural 1. I thought it was a 7.
As you do so, Caliphier, he listens, and you hear, and there are 3 voices that go, "Oh, that's easy prey for us," and he begins to hear footsteps, running, as if to begin some kind of an ambush. I'm gonna have the 3 of you roll for initiative.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. You're just not very intimidating. Wait, do I have a thing that helps me with this? I don't think so.
Sorry, quick question. There we go. I haven't rolled initiative in forever. Nice. Well, that was a good roll. It's a natural 20 for a 22.
That's how you unsuspectedly got them to trust in your plans.
Valnith is ready. He's ready.
So Valnith got
Yeah,
a 22. Caliphier got a 12. Okay,
That's pretty
8.
good.
And then Kieran got an 8. All right, let me go ahead and roll their initiative.
Combat. We got this.
And with that, we're gonna go ahead and start with Valnith. So I'm gonna set up the battle map here of what you are going to be seeing.
I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
So
Kick some butt.
currently, where you guys are situated. So, Caliphier and well, Kyrian and
Valineth.
Valineth are going to be back here. So the Horwell is basically right here, running along like this side. Caliphere's right here, and there are... Where are my bandit tokens? Did I not upload them? I might. Here, we'll just use these guys.
Yeah, use those dudes. Those guys look wild.
Yeah, he's got a bandit. To duplicate, and then use this guy. Okay. You have 3 individuals that you cannot see yet, but the footsteps are coming. And you hear them calling out and yelling. So.
Right. I'm assuming Valineth's first.
Yep, Valineth's first. What do you plan on doing?
All right. Valineth kind of whispers over to, or not whispers, but says over to Kyrian. He's like, they are coming. I hear the footsteps. Let's position ourselves well. And Valineth says, and he kind of points towards where Caliphere is. I think they're coming from that way, but I think we should position ourselves in a way that maybe makes it a little bit more difficult for them to get to us. So Valineth's going to look around as like a bonus action and see if there's any like advantageous place of standing.
Yeah, make a perception check for me.
Okay. Perception.
This reminds me of the area near Kakariko Village in Breath of the Wild.
Yep. That's almost a dirty 20, but it ended up being a 17.
So you look at your immediate surroundings, and as I had mentioned, there are like craggy hills that are along the sides of this bank. There is actually a slow incline just to your south that allows you to go up onto the cliff. If you run, and it'll have you rise about 15 feet above the rest of the battlefield if you want to do that.
Yeah, Valineth points that out and says, I don't know about you, but I'm quite next to useless in a fist to fisticuffs battle. So I'm gonna actually go up here, and he's gonna point up there.
So if
do
you go
what
this
you
way,
will.
So again, this is 5 feet here, and then it immediately jumps up to 10 feet. So
15, 20, 25, 30, right there.
Yep.
And he's gonna hold his attack action until he can see people running down through this way.
Okay.
If they do come this turn.
The next is going to be Caliphere. Caliphere, he has his sword and shield at the ready, but he looks back to you, Kyrian. He is unsure whether he should confront them here or if he should let them come by. I could use my strategy, my actual real-life strategy. He's going to withdraw a little bit. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he's going to position himself, 25, 30. Just in a way, and he actually has a short bow that he is going to pull out, and he is going to be at the ready as well. Yeah, this is a different look of Kyrian than you're used to seeing. He's not in his plate armor. He's in his chain shirt, and he's got a bow out, and so this is quite different. The next people that are going to be going are these guys. So they're going to go this direction. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then this guy is going to 5 attempt to make a climb. So he's going to make a couple skill checks for me here. Acrobatics skill check. He succeeds. So he's going to 5.
Does Valineth hear this?
He's able to make his way this way. You actually see him scramble up the side. And this
Valineth
has
shoots
a
at him.
bow at his back. Okay, so Valineth, go ahead and make a...
he was holding his action.
Make an attack.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm using an elf arrow, so it's a +1 to hit as well.
Okay.
Assuming that's going to hit. So that's a 19 to hit.
Yep, 19 definitely hits.
And wow, that was a poop roll, but oh well. That's 5 points of piercing damage.
Hey, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
With that, you loose an arrow and it hits this guy. So you hear a "Ugh!" Oi! And he calls out to his companions down over the cliff. Oi! Careful, they got archers! And with that, actually, Kyrian is going to make a shot at this guy that he has view of. He's not great at this, but he's gonna do it. So
Nice.
he does not hit, and he looses his arrow, and it misses. Well, that's what he's gonna do. Let's see if he has any
Good try,
bonus
Caleb,
actions
here.
or anything that he wants to spend. Nah, he's just gonna go ahead and take out his sword and shield and be at the ready. Kyrian, it is your turn.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, no. This guy's gonna make an attack
their
at
turn.
Valinith.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a bow. He
What?
got hit. He's making an attack at Valinith, too. And he got a nat 20 to hit. So that's max
Where's that
damage. That's going to
Yeah.
be 8 points of piercing
Oh!
damage as he
Oh!
fires directly into you, piercing you right in the center of the chest.
Wow. Ouch. Well, he's a pretty good shot.
Lucky, too. Kyrian, your turn.
Well, hearing that, I changed my plan.
Natural 20! Oh.
All right.
Oh. Nah, he's doing good. Valinith's still fine. So.
Okay. I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do I have a clear shot of this guy now?
Oh, yeah, easily.
And it's like dusk, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit darker, but yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm not. I'm trying to play it like I'm a rogue. I'm not a rogue. It's fine.
You could pretend you are.
I was gonna hide as a bonus action, but I can't. That's okay.
Duck into the
I
darkness.
will. Well, hold on. How far away is he?
In range.
50 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a shot at him with my great bow.
Okay.
Got a great bow?
Yeah.
What?
Come on, man. I'm a Dunedain.
I know, but it's huge.
Sick.
I thought you
Yeah.
had like a. Ooh, nice.
Nah, man.
Alice
I.
just got a
This
longbow.
thing is like, let's go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
I'm a muscled man.
I
Actually,
guess.
no, I have a -1 in strength. I'm just very dexterous.
It's a different kind of
Alright.
strength.
Anyway, roll to hit. Does a 24 hit?
Oh yeah, it does.
And that will be 9 points of piercing damage.
You hear Valinith behind you as Kyrian sneaks his way up. You can hear the pull of his bow, and it's like this like creak as you just
Yeah.
loose this arrow, boom, and it thunks him right in his thigh. And it shoots through his thigh and rips a chunk out of him. As he kneels down on the ground, he's like, oh, as he's just like literally like nearly bleeding out here. He is just like, oh, as he's grasping his arm, he's like, they got 2 archers. We might be outmatched, men.
I will take. Wait. I don't think it takes any movement to like lie prone, right?
Nope.
So I will lie prone, and I will whisper to Valinith, "Stay down while we're at range."
Oh, astute! I would think nothing less of a Dunedain. And Valinith kind of gets down.
Squats
Yeah, squats.
So, and
with
that
an arrow
is my
sticking out of his chest. Oh.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm saving that one for later.
With that, it is going to be the top of the round. Going to Valnith.
Valnith will be like, okay, I think we got this. So what do we want? He's gonna call back to Kyrian as like kind of in response to that, and says, "Do you want to keep him alive or do we want him dead?"
I mean, alive is always preferable, but incapacitated. No longer a threat.
That is a good point. Will.
Unless
Valnith
he's an
is-
orc. Is he an orc? With your what do you see with your elf eyes?
Valnith squints. He's like, he's a haggard man.
Ah, then yes, try to keep him alive.
All right. Valnith will take actually one step back if he can. Does that make him lose range if he's crouched?
No. I mean, it's a slight incline from this position, but you'll still be able to get a clear shot on him.
All right.
If you were like down
Valnith-
here, I would say no, you can't. Or even here, you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, here's fine.
Yeah, Valnith is going to try to make a shot at his bow pulling arm, like shoulder.
Okay. An aimed shot. All right. I
An
like
aimed
it.
shot. He's using another elven bow, so
Perfect.
or elven arrow.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll. Are you withholding lethal
Is-
damage?
Yeah, I'm withholding lethal damage. Is it going to be, with anything since it's an aimed shot?
Since it's what?
An aimed shot, is it going to be at any like disadvantage or?
If you're
Anything like that.
specifically doing that, I'm just gonna go with the flavor of you're just
Okay.
trying not to kill him.
Yeah,
So
okay,
it's just
alright. Yeah.
that's fine.
Alright,
You're trying to get him to go unconscious, and so go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh, I don't know. What is that? What is that? That's a 14 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that was with a 3, by the way. That was with the 3.
Wow.
Or sorry.
Wait.
Sorry, it was an 11 to hit.
11 does not hit.
Oh,
I was gonna say, what is your modifier, dude?
it's a 7 plus 1, so 8
Okay.
for this thing. And Valor's like Drats, and he's gonna use the rest of his movement, and he's gonna kind of like duck down behind this to kind of get out of range.
Yeah, he would have to come pretty close in order to get a shot with you, like about here.
He's like, oh, sorry, it's a rare miss. It must have been that crouching that you asked me to do. He says to Kyrian.
and
And he's actually kind of gonna look over here and see how.
yeah, you can
Caliph
just
here's
see
doing too.
Caliph here with his sword and shield at the ready.
With a bonus action, can I attempt to like get this arrow out of my chest?
Yeah. Do it.
Sure.
Make a medicine check for me.
All right. I'm good at medicine. That's my best thing. I'm the best at that. Maybe. Hold up. 18.
18.
Sorry, it's low.
You very skillfully are able to twist, and you realize that it didn't hit anything important. In fact, it like stopped at the bone. And so you pull it out, and you're able to immediately grab some cloth and bandage it and hold it over your chest as it attempts to coagulate. But for now, at least in the heat of the moment, you're
Yep.
still okay.
It just hit some bone. That's all.
Just right in the sternum. It's a little dented. You might need, some milk.
Yeah.
Rebuild that bone.
Or some milk.
Just drink. Just like this.
Curses. I should have bought some milk while I still had the chance. But
I'm surprised Kyrian from the backwards like, oh, I need some milk.
Right in the chest. Nice. All right, that's all Valnith will do.
Cool.
So.
Caliph is going to... he's going to grab his bow out again as his bonus action. He's going to take a shot at this guy. Yeah.
Come on.
Let's see.
You got this.
He's only got a +1 to hit. Oh,
Okay.
with a nat 20
Hey.
for a
He doesn't
21.
need the +1.
Yeah, so he is going to do... Why does it take so much damage? What is this? Hold up.
It's a
Oh,
sick,
because
he's strong.
The rules of nat 20 like crits.
Ah.
Depends on how you're
Yeah.
playing.
So I was like 2d6. What the heck? No. It's gonna be 5 points of damage. He's got a -1 on his dex, so
Nice.
he's gonna shoot
Are we
that
playing?
first guy.
It's just max damage.
Yep, just
crit?
maximum damage. Yep.
I know another rule is you roll double the dice. So
Yeah. So that's what it's saying I should do here. So I'll roll that, but I'm not gonna actually do it.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. Sweet. That is going to be a total of 5 points of damage, and so I shoot him. Huh, and he goes, ugh. He shoots him, kind of glances off his shield and skims against his cheek. And he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to take a more defensive position.
Wait.
closer to
You're
the party.
telling me you crit him and it only grazed his cheek?
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not very proficient with the bow.
Valnith will see. That was a good shot I saw, my good sir. He'll call down to
He
him.
calls up. He's like, how are you faring up there? How many of them do you see?
One, but I got shot in the chest.
He looks back concerned. It's like, are you okay?
It's okay. It only went bone deep.
Oh my god.
He's dabbing his chest with a pocket hanky.
With that, it is the it's the bandit's turn, and he's going to move because he can't see. Kirian's gone prone, and so he needs to move closer, but he only has half movement because a big chunk has been taken out of his quad. So 5, 10, 15. He's gonna attempt to make a shot at Kirian. It's gonna be disadvantage though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I lied prone. I'm like, typically on a ranged attack that gives him disadvantage. So
Yeah, it's gonna be 7 to hit.
nope.
He misses. The other two, they're going to be continuously charging. This one has a shield and sword, and this one has a spear, by the way. And so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, he's going to use his action to just dash. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He can't attack, but he is closing the gap.
Booga, 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 booga.
Exactly. And this guy's going to do the same. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to flank.
Snapdragons.
It's all good. He
All
can't
right,
do
cool.
nothing.
Yeah, they can't attack or anything this turn, so now it's Kirian's turn.
Get him,
Oh,
Kirian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two of you see that these guys are just sprinting full force into Caliphyr. Caliphyr has his bow drawn. He's just like, oh, jeez.
Can I tell if can I tell if this guy is like close to being
Oh yeah,
incapacitated?
he's pretty messed up. Like a huge chunk's taken out of his quad. He is just like
Okay.
he's like limping and like gasping.
So
for
one
breath.
strategic shot and I could non-lethally take him out. Okay.
1 damage, I bet.
We can only hope. I will then get up. I will stand up using half of my movement. And I will shoot another shot at him.
All right.
Also, I need to be taking track of my arrows. So hold on.
Yes, all of you, make sure you're tracking your arrows.
Oh, I have been. Don't worry.
So that's my second arrow. And I will take a shot. Oh, what?
Good.
8.
Misses.
Oh!
This guy's hobbling and dodging.
It's dark,
Dark.
okay?
It's dark, yeah. Did you get him, Kirian?
No. I
Oh.
will. Can I use my bonus action to switch weapons?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will switch to put my bow away, take out my swords. And then I will move 5, 10, 15.
So you actually have
Double flank.
you have a 5-foot advantage on him. So because you have the higher ground, you're gonna have advantage on attacks against him.
That's right.
With your
Take
weapons.
that, Anakin.
So got the high ground.
I have the high ground. Don't try it.
Alright.
I have the high ground.
All right, Valinith, it is
That-
your turn.
He's gonna use half his movement to not crouch to uncrouch.
No, you're not prone. You're not prone. So it's
okay.
only
I was
from
just
prone
crouching.
position. It's half. Yeah.
Okay,
So
never
just-
mind. He's just peeking up.
You're just
He's
hitting like the X button.
Yeah. And he's gonna turn to Kiri and he's like, wait, he's not dead yet? Or what do you...
I missed.
Okay, all right.
What do you
Well, I
want?
guess I can't say
You
I
don't
didn't do
kill
that
him.
as well.
You're
Valdez
trying
is
to
gonna
not
be...
kill him.
That's true, that's true. Well, say good night, my good sir. And he's gonna attempt to do non-lethal damage at him as well. So, yeah, with an elven bow or with an elven arrow. Come on! Better than a 3. No! No! Gosh darn it!
This guy is just like doing the moves.
I picture that scene in The Return of the King where Gothmog is kind of just like.
Ah! He
Yeah.
spits on the rock. It's an 11 to hit.
11 will not hit.
None of this is a curse. This guy's a slippery one.
With a +7 to hit, he doesn't
It's
even
okay.
have.
No, I
He's lifting after us.
It's 2 3s. Yeah,
At this point,
real
he's
slow.
pulled out a dagger.
Maybe
Yeah.
you want to get out of the way of this guy.
Yes. Don't worry. Valineth will be like, I will handle this. And Valineth is going to move 5, 10, 15. Is this tree right here? Is this
Yeah, there's a tree. Yeah.
All right, he's going to attempt to climb into the tree. Groop.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna have you make a acrobatics check for me.
Sweet.
What is this
Maybe you're rolling
strategy?
hot now.
I was good. Wait, no. God, darn it. It's not terrible, but it's a 9.
You get up into the tree, but you're like this on one of the branches.
Like,
Your feet are dangling.
I'm really feeling that arrow.
Yeah, this is just like, oh, that one arrow took the wind out of me, and he's still dabbing his chest.
Yeah.
As
As
he-
he's hanging over, he's like. All right, well that's your turn. It's now Califir's turn. He's gonna use his bonus
Ugh.
action to pull out his sword and shield, and he is actually not going to disengage, but he's gonna move 10 feet around this guy. So he's gonna get an opportunity attack from this bandit, who is just attacking normally with a sword. It gets a natural 1 and misses. And so he's gonna make his way over, plugging up the gap here between this guy and the 5-foot basically gap there, and he's just gonna make an attack with his sword against the spear guy.
Get him.
Actions.
But spears have the advantage over swords.
Yeah, from a distance.
Well, if you're fire
need an
emblem,
axe.
sure.
He got a 12, which will hit, and so
Oh!
he's gonna.
Wait, what's his
has
AC?
a
Oh,
shield, right?
Califir hit.
Yeah, Caleb.
Oh! Ah!
Yeah.
I thought so too.
We're
Yeah,
good.
so I've got
Yay!
a shield. Right now, my AC is 16. So as you
I was
know,
gonna
this guy
say,
has a
like-
12 AC at least. And so the guy with the spear, he's going to go ahead and attack him one-handed with his longsword for a total of 7 points of damage. So he slashes at the guy, and he goes, "For Gondor!" And he slashes and does a huge gash across his chest. The guy's like, "Ugh."
It's gotta be on death's door.
Different guy. That's the first damage this guy's taken. So everybody's
that the
taking
spear
some
guy?
damage. Yeah, every guy's taking some damage. But that's all he can do. So that's gonna bring us down to the bandits. So this guy, he's got 5, 10. He's gonna make an attack against, using his action against Califir. He's got 15, which will not hit. Spear guy is gonna make an attack against Califir
Woo!
for a 9, which will not hit. And then this guy, he's hobbling.
Worried.
5, 10, 15. He still has his bow, and he's gonna take a. He can now see down at Kyrian. He's
Not
gonna
gonna take a shot at Valineth hanging out the tree.
You have a little bit of cover because there's some branches and stuff, but he's gonna take a shot at Kyrian. We got a nat 1, so he's just gonna miss. Yes.
Sick.
He's
Alright.
feeling it.
Yeah.
Kyrian.
He's
Arrow
having
to
a
the
hard
knee will do
time
that to ya.
knocking the arrow with all the
Yeah.
pain in his thigh.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Kyrian, is your turn.
I'm gonna make some attacks against this fella,
Spear guy.
Right,
Yeah.
you can do 2 attacks.
and I am gonna move that way so that I'm
Alright.
flanking.
You already have advantage because you have the 5-foot slope.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah, you have 5 feet above him, and so you're attacking down at him.
Never mind. I was gonna do the cool like spin around attack move from Wind Waker, but another
Good one.
time.
Down a slope.
Yeah. Exactly. So my first attack at advantage with my broadsword is gonna be, oh baby, a nat 20 for 26.
What's max damage?
So that's gonna be, hold on, I think it's just 1d8, right? Okay.
It's a knockout plus whatever.
Oh wait.
Are you withholding lethal damage on everybody?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. Hold on.
Men are redeemable, orcs are not.
Right. I have a thing, and I'm trying to double check if it's just like added. Hold on. What is typically the modifier? Just your. I think it's just +3. So
is it a broadsword or longsword?
It's a broadsword.
Yeah, so your modifier
think
is
it's-
your dex score.
Right, but I don't add proficiency for the damage. Right?
I think Dunedain do, right?
Yeah,
No,
you're
it
proficient.
should-
Are you not proficient with broadswords?
Oh, I am. But I thought that was just for the to hit.
Oh yeah. As far as your you don't get proficiency on the attack. It's just
damage,
whatever
yeah.
your dexterity modifier is. Does it not say on your character sheet? What's going on?
I'm trying to find it. The thing is, it says +5. However, I think that is only against the foe. Yes, it's only against the enemy.
Yeah, so creatures of
Orcs,
shadow.
goblins, spiders. Is
Dang.
he an evil man technically?
Technically no. So your evil men would be like the hillmen of Rudar, Dunlendings, things like that.
Because I think it just automatically added the +2 from that
Got it.
into all of those, so
It's
it's only a
+3.
+3.
Okay.
Only.
So total damage.
Freaking good.
Yeah. So 11.
All right, that's exactly what you needed.
I
And
wrap him across with the flat side of my.
you go boom, and you hear just kind of like this like clink, and there's stars in his eyes as he just like falls unconscious onto the ground.
It's basically my version of the judo chop.
Caliphyr says, "What are you doing? Why aren't we taking care of these men?"
Because, though they may be misguided, they aren't the enemy.
This is battle. This isn't time for moral quandaries. As he's like blocking like attacks from like his shield.
And yet, here we are. I
Man
will
falls
move-
unconscious on the ground.
Okay, great.
All right. Now, oh no,
wait,
you have
wait.
another attack if you want to. I guess you can move.
You can move and attack again.
Yeah. You've got him. Try to spare him. He's only a man. 5, 10, 15, 20. And I will use the bonus action to finish this dude off.
With your dagger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I get advantage since he's on a knee? Probably not.
Yeah, I would say so. He's kind of prone. He has a bow.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
gonna do a whole lot to you.
Blown out quad. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll hit.
17 to hit. And I'll be withholding lethal damage. So, that's gonna be 6.
Ooh.
And how are you knocking him unconscious?
Same way, just like judo chopping him with the flat side of my blade.
And he goes, this guy already, like, he's pale and he's losing blood fast from his quad. All it takes is just a, and he just go, and he falls unconscious to the ground as well.
Wow. Freaking Kyrian.
I got it, guys.
This is what we've been looking for the whole time. Because to be fair, the 2 battles Kyrion's fought in, the first one he missed everything. The second one, he helped me pull a ballista bolt back.
Yeah. Very true.
All right, Valdet's gonna spend half his movement writing himself in the tree instead of just hanging there. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's gonna kind of like see how does he have a direct line on this guy? Or
Yeah, I would
the
say
way?
so because of the height, probably.
Okay.
Because you're probably a
So
solid 15 feet above the 5-foot incline, so 20 feet above. So you could probably get a decent shot. I would say you'd have to make an in the way roll, and that would just be probably on a 5 and lower. You would hit Kyrian. You'd make an attack against
Caliphyr.
Or sorry, Caliphyr.
If
and then
I
a 6 higher.
okay, this may sound ridiculous.
Like ridiculous.
You're gonna be. A monkey.
If I jump out of the tree to this space, can I shoot at him as I'm jumping out?
As a bonus action, I'll have you make an acrobatics check. Then, yes, because of that, you will not have an in the way check, but your attack will be at disadvantage.
Oh man!
You are like
Okay.
doing a somersault in the air as you're
He
shooting
thinks
it.
he's Legolas. He watched the 2 Towers the other day, and he's just like,
I
he
got.
doesn't have a shield, but he saw how cool Legolas was. And when he passed through the woodland realm, he saw how cool all those wood elves were.
All right, I'll
but
say
he's like, he
this.
doesn't-
I'll say this. If you get above a 16 on your acrobatics check, it could be made normally.
No, he's not gonna do it. Valdet's not confident enough with a ding in his chest that hit the bone, so he's just gonna hit this guy.
All right, in the way roll, I'm gonna have you just roll a d20. On a 6 up, you go through Caliphyr, and you can make the attack roll.
Through him.
Yeah.
The,
On
the
the other
arrow
side.
just passes right through him.
Did you roll? What is this?
Oh, yes.
Back
Suck
attack.
it, Caliphyr.
Not the one.
Go ahead and make an attack.
Oh.
Go make an attack against him.
Hey, maybe you'll roll poop, and it'll just clink off his armor.
Oh. Well, he's using an elven arrow because he doesn't have any normal arrows, so.
That'll-
20 to hit. A dirty
That'll-
20.
That'll hit.
Oh, baby.
Roll damage.
Suck it, Caliphyr.
Well, that was
You should have
minimum
been
damage.
cool.
That was minimum damage. 4 damage.
As you loose this arrow from the tree, an arrow gets shot in the back, and you hear a "Ugh!" and you can tell that like he quickly glances over his shoulder. He's like, "Are there more of them?" As he like looks,
I'm
and-
sorry. I have this wound that I have.
Wait,
I
was that
tried.
you? Was that you, Valinith?
When in
I've been
doubt,
known
do
to do
cool
that from
things.
time to time. He calls out.
There's a
What is
sigh.
that, the third
It basically
time
the
I've
arrow
done that?
hits the chain shirt and just leaves a wicked
Oh.
bruise on his back, just like. It doesn't
Nice.
actually stick
What is that,
into
the
him.
3rd or 4th time? It's like I get a max damage, or not max damage, I get like a 20 plus to hit, or I hit my own dude.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sorry about that.
Caliphyr is going to use his attack action and attack the bandit that's attacking. With another nat 20. He is going to do max damage,
Done.
which is going to be a 10 points of slashing damage. And he does so, and he takes another like slash against this guy, and he basically has like 2 cross slashes. The guy chuckles as he gets shot in the back by Valinith, and in his bit of distraction, just slashes him upwards, cleaving part of his neck. And the guy has the look of sheer terror in his eyes as the captain of Dol Amroth is staring him down. With that being the case, it is now the bandit's turn, and he is going to disengage and book it. So
Oh, good luck.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and he is starting to run into in the opposite direction. Again, unconscious. It is, Kyrion's turn.
Attack.
Kyrion's just handling all this.
He gets an opportunity attack.
Oh yeah, Caliphyr does.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I guess he disengaged though. Never mind.
Yeah,
never
he
mind.
disengaged.
Yeah. I'm wrong.
It's okay.
Okay. So, question for the DM.
Yes.
If I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, can I do a cool, like, I jump down and roll and then, like...
Yeah. Acrobatics
then-
check.
You're gonna be legless too?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna take out our walk that we've got and slide down the cliffside. Just kidding.
That's why you
Are you
wanted
attacking
it.
him with your blades?
Yes.
Okay, acrobatics check as you jump down the cliff.
Acrobatics.
This will be your bonus action to do so.
9.
9. You do just land it. The roll isn't pretty, but you do kind of like you do a tootsie roll, and then you stab as he's running away from you.
I'm going for the Achilles.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. I am going.
Make
for
him
the
unable to walk for the rest of his days.
Yeah.
Last time he tries to ambush someone.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna kill him, but I'm gonna make him think about what he's done. And I'm gonna do a broadsword attack first. Does a 25.
Oh yeah, that hits. Is that a
Oh my
crit?
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That was a 19. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's gonna do 7 points withholding lethal damage.
And you do so, and you just whack him right on the back of his head, and he falls flat on his face, passed out.
Wow, freaking
unconscious.
Kyrian just dealt with all of them.
Got him.
Kyrian, Valinith, I'm gonna have you roll for each of your arrows that you spent, your elven arrows that you spent. I'm gonna
Alright.
have you roll a d20 on the result of a 10 plus. You can recover
Mhm.
your arrows. Actually, for every arrow that's spent, you can go ahead and do that for everybody. So,
Alright.
Kyrian did 2.
I did the 4? Was that 4 turns?
Yeah,
I
four
think it's
arrows.
4. Yeah.
Kyrian's first arrow breaks at a 1. His second arrow, he recovers.
Mine? Am I doing the same
So
thing?
I get 2 arrows.
Just a straight D20.
Just a straight d20.
Yeah.
And then on the result of a 10 plus, you keep your arrow.
I recovered 2 arrows. Can I keep the arrow that was put into my chest?
I got to roll to see if it's survived. So let's see.
Oh, I'll do. Want me to roll, or are you rolling
I got
that?
it. It did
Just
survive.
one
Yes,
arrow.
you can keep it.
Sweet. It's just normal ass arrow.
Yep, just a normal arrow.
All right.
Probably the one I missed.
It's all good.
Yep, reclaimed your arrows and everything, and there, at that point, Caliphyr gonna yell out and say, "Looks like you've done this before," as he begins wiping the blood off of his sword. And shooting
Valinith
it.
calls out, "I've done it a time or 2, yes."
And then I'll just say to him quietly, yes. And wink. As I kind of chuckle at Val.
And with that, we're
He's
gonna end our session
climbing-
for today.
He's climbing out of the tree, dangling his legs.
As you land on the
Very
ground.
experienced Valinith.
He's-
Good job.
He's dexterous. He's dexterous, but he keeps rolling horrendously. It's
It's
awful.
alright.
It's all good.
Such is life. All right, well, that's going to end our session for today. We're going to quickly jump thoughts on tonight's session. We'll start with Cole, then we'll go to Dane, and then my thoughts,
Alright.
and then we'll be done.
I enjoyed the comedic relief of Valinith in battle. Just those rough rolls, bro. It was very fun. I also just love, like, I don't know, when we roll crappy, like, it doesn't ruin the session, you know? It's like, we just turn it into a joke and laugh it off, you know.
Especially because it's 3 bandits. It's not like there's really any
Yeah,
like
no one's about to die. Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, so it's just fun. No, good session. Yeah, I feel like it can be hard when you're not like consistently playing this character, because like I was making some choices and I'm like, he's supposed to be a little more brooding than I'm playing him. So
That's okay. You're on the adventure.
yeah.
You're brooding against the orcs.
Yeah. So I just remember early on there was a comment I made. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, that's probably not actually true for Kyrian. But oh well. Yeah. So anyway, no, but it was fun. Getting back into things I miss when it's been so long since we've played.
And it's crazy because it's only been 1 session, which is a month.
But when you're every other week, yeah, it's a long time. So.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it was super fun. Glad to see you both and hang out. And yeah, it feels good when you deal the finishing blows on things. So
on everything.
Yeah, I mean, y'all weakened it. I
gotta tell you something. The beginning of that battle, when you guys were just like missing arrow after arrow after arrow, I was like, oh jeez, this guy's gonna just like gimp to victory, and then that ended real quick.
Yeah. They said, stop that.
Now what we have to look forward to for all the characters is the fact that we're going to be at disadvantage for all of our skill checks.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be good. Don't worry. We'll fumble our way through. It'll be fine.
Anything else, Cole?
No, that's it. It was a fun sesh.
It was good. Dane.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed getting to meet some new characters, like getting to meet Aragorn's mother was kind of cool, even though none of us know that. Again, it's the fanboy in me, just understanding and knowing the world of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings.
I had to say something to her, and I forgot.
Yeah, it's all good. She might be there when we get back, hopefully. So, but if we get back, don't say that. But no, I mean, that's
all. That's all I mean.
It's true. Well, but I mean, as far as just these sessions, like just playing in the world of Tolkien is really, really fun. I think it's just objectively better than any other just Dungeons and Dragons campaign, in my opinion, just because it's in such a special world to me. It's kind of how I feel about Everlast as well. Speaking of which, we have Everlast on Friday, so join us for that. Session 43, which would be really good. But no, I mean, I enjoyed getting to find out. I enjoyed actually using my one skill that I have. What is it? What is it?
One skill.
Well, no, but like the one skill that I always forget to use.
Yeah.
News from afar. I actually used it, and that was cool because I've never used it. I picked it as a skill to use, and I just have never used it. So glad to be able to use that and actually get some useful information on it.
That you asked?
Yeah, those are the 3 questions I get. So at the beginning of every adventure or long rest, I can deduce with a +5 to which basically is a 20 or a 19, depending what I'm doing. So I basically get the information of 3 things in the adventure ahead that I can ask. So, because elves are keen when it comes to such things. Or that's a scholar thing. Scholars are keen when it comes to such things. Anyways, happy to be able to use that. I'm very curious to use this dagger. I was actually planning on using the dagger, but then I'm just like, well, I missed 2 bow shots, and the dagger's not going to do me any help. So that's why I decided to climb into the tree, which as is. But yeah, it was a really fun session. I enjoy getting to learn Kyrian and Caliphyr as their characters. It's interesting to see how they view battle and what's different in the battle. I feel like Valinith is for sure very much like what's the best course of action, whereas I don't know. I correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but Caliphyr seems to be just like he's a bad dude, so he just deserves whatever.
Yeah, it's just like whatever it takes to win the battle. They're attacking, so clearly he's got bad intentions, and so he doesn't differentiate between enemy and good people. He sees them as just enemy.
And Kyrian's interesting. Just because again, I know he's not when it comes to orcs and trolls and spiders and stuff, he's unrelenting and he will not stop. But when it comes to humans, that's an interesting thing that I've seen. Valnith was more so just like, we need to get information out of these guys, so just maybe not necessarily killing them is the right thing to do. But all the decisions to make, that's more so just like, let's fight these bandits and kill these bandits. There's a lot you can think about going forward with it, but I enjoy combat. I think it's fun. Like Cole mentioned, the hijinks that happens from bad rolls, I think is good. It's fun. It's good. Like, I mean, it's true when Cole says it. Not taking yourself too seriously when it comes to this kind of stuff,
Getting
and
too
trying
over
to
the top frustrated.
yeah, I mean, it's a game. Ultimately, we're doing this for fun, and we're doing this to participate in a world of fantasy, and just also it's just happens to be amazing brotherly time as well. And sometimes the best parts of a campaign and the best things that happen in a campaign are brought on by bad rolls. So it's not even necessarily all that bad. So it was a lot of good for both. Valnith rolled really well at the beginning, and then when it came to battle, he rolled nothing. So as it be, the dice giveth and taketh away, as it be. But yeah, I had a good time. It was really fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, one of the things that going into the session, like, I really like the ability to, like, for travel. Because a lot of the times, like, when I'm rolling, maybe it's just, like, the tables that I roll from, I never roll encounters, ever. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what the party is doing and how they're traveling. I don't ever. And so when I rolled this encounter, I was like, this is great. But like the encounters like are designed to be kind of just like speed bumps along the road. Like when it's like 3 bandits are like trying to like trap you, it would have been much worse if somebody got ensnared and like there was like issues with that. But you guys are high enough level. You guys are high enough level where like 3 bandits are literally like just throwing wet noodles at you. But curious to see what you actually like, what they actually did, unless they crit or unless you get friendly fired at. So there's that.
Sorry about that.
But no, it's okay. I mean, like a 5 down. That's such a rare shot of it happening, and you just happen to get the 1. So it is what
I mean, that's happened 2 or 3 times. Valnith was the one in Wilderland Adventure who you could always guarantee a hit. And whenever he missed, he was always hitting his own dudes. So he hit every time.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You should have done the cool thing and
jumped out of the tree. I know, but I was also thinking just like a 5 or less, the likelihood.
No, totally. It was just funny.
Yeah, as opposed to taking falling damage for yourself, it's like you're either damaging Caliph here or you're damaging yourself, and you already got a crit taken to you. So like, I think in the long run, this wasn't the worst case scenario. It was like the second worst case scenario.
He also got a free Athelis, so I could use it. I could rub it in my wound if I need to.
That's true. Or rub it in Califier's bruise.
Nah, he's good. He's chilling.
Only took 4 points.
Only took 4 points.
I took none.
It's good. I've missed combat a lot. Wink wink, there might be some tonight for in Wilderland Adventures. But I guess it kind of depends on the pacing on how everything goes, but I have a hunch there's going to be some saucy combat.
Are you all wrapping up like the whole campaign soon, or is it just kind of ending?
No, the whole campaign is coming to a close, and so like I planned it out to where there's we can wrap it up in 2 sessions, which tonight's going to be it, and then next week is going to be it. Speaking of which, I guess this is a good time to announce to everybody that, unfortunately, Wilderland Adventures is coming to a close. And so after the month of August, we are no longer going to be having any of the evening streams on my part, but Eriador Adventures is still going to continue to go in full swing. And so we're not missing out on this, but the end of Wilderland Adventures will be at the end of August, and so starting in September, that'll be it for that. But we still have the ongoing adventures here in Middle Earth on
and
the
they'll
Eriador Adventures.
So if you ever want to like relive those times of Valnith hijinks and shooting his own dudes in the back and just everything past that, you can feel free to do so. So consider if you do miss Wilderland, those will still be up on our YouTube. So.
For sure. And they'll be up there for forever. And so, yeah, quite exciting. We'll
also have some exclusive thank you Wilderland Adventure merch in the store for a limited time as well. So if you thoroughly enjoyed Wilderland Adventure and you want to kind of keep a memento of the time spent on Wilderland Adventure, then that will be up for probably the month of September and October in the merch store. I won't mention what it is yet, but it is ready to be put up when that does eventually happen. So
Yeah.
cool.
So enjoy the last 2 weeks of that, and then we get to see what's going on with Eriador Adventure going forward, and the hunt for Captain Warmog and the missing persons. But yeah, do you have anything to add, Dane, before we do head off?
Yeah, so for the rest of the week, as Kyle had mentioned, so again, Wednesday morning, 4:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will be having Wilderland Adventure. So come join us for that. Again, we have 2 sessions left, so it's getting hot. It's getting hot in there. So come join us for that. On Thursday, not Wednesday, but Thursday, Cole will be continuing his Paper Mario playthrough during the normal time, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then on Friday, come join us for Everlast. We have session 43 of Everlast on Friday, and that's always a great time. Again, Everlast is our game created by Kyle, our lore master here, and we're producing here at Fantasy Forge Studios. So again, we're in session 43, and we are in the sauce. We are definitely in the sauce when it comes to this next session. So
The party is split. All kinds of
crazy
shenanigans is
stuff
going
happened.
down. I don't know if you were able to listen, Cole, to the end of last session when you had to leave, but
Not
some
yet, yeah.
crazy
Sauce.
shenanigans went down.
Sauce happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
no one
have to
died
listen.
though. Don't worry.
No one's dead quite yet, but it was good. It was actually a really good session. A little hint for those who haven't caught up yet. There was some good stuff with Dunedain and Belbin, and perhaps a little bit of redemption.
Oh.
Maybe
Some cult activity.
Oh yeah!
Burbled
Did I leave
out.
in the middle of that, or
You
did they
did.
wrap?
We
Yeah.
found out, Cole. I mean, to anyone who's listening, if you watched already, you can watch again. But it was the cult of Burbldow, the demon we've killed already personally.
Oh,
that's
shoot.
taken over. Yeah. So, even though Burbldow the archdemon's dead, apparently his followers aren't.
Dang. What was he
Interesting.
the archdemon of again?
He was the gargoyle one.
No, I
Yeah,
know,
no,
but
he-
like,
yeah, he
Flop
was-
is
he
the
was
one
a-
we're on now.
Yeah. So he was greed.
Greed. Right.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Burbldow. Guys, Everlast is going to be coming out within the next year or so. But we have some exciting news considering that. We're not going to mention anything yet. But regarding Everlast, in the near future, we may have some exciting news coming out for that. So that'll be a next huge, massive, big update. So, but we have that on Friday. Nothing on Saturday. Kyle will be continuing his playthrough of Dragon's Dogma 2 on Sunday. And then I don't know, Kyle, next week, are we going to start our new
Stream schedule?
stream schedule?
No, I don't think so. We have some things that we're moving around. As far as next week, we still have to discuss some things and get some logistics and stuff down. But I might be moving one of my stream days to a different day. But there's some moving parts in place, and so as of now, I'm still streaming Monday mornings JST and then Wednesday mornings JST. So as far as that's all concerned, and then Everlast is still every other Saturday or Saturday morning JST. So
Perfect. And just a couple last things before we do actually head out. Again, we have an amazing sponsor, Daisnaki, Japanese sweets and luxury treats company, small family business based in Tokyo, Japan. If you do decide to buy from them, make sure you mention Forged sent you. They will be tracking that, and also make sure to mention your Twitch username, because when we hit a certain referral limit, we're going to be giving away a free box on the channel of theirs, which is cool. We've already given one away to an amazing follower, so you could be a next one to win another free Daisnaki box, free international shipping, and again, it's helped support us and a small family business as well. We mentioned Everlast. Again, we are kind of in that process right now of getting everything kind of ready before the Kickstarter comes out, and the big thing is art. And art's expensive, and so we want to try to have that all done before we actually get the Kickstarter up, so we can use a lot of that for publishing and actually getting the product out there. And so we're having to spend all of our Kickstarter. Yeah, instead of getting all of our. Go ahead, Kyle.
Unfortunately, I've been a part of some Kickstarters, not like that I've sold or like made or anything, but I've seen where like some of the Kickstarters have just like failed in like
And
recently, and
fizzled,
I've
yeah.
gotten emails, and it's just like, well, there goes my money. But it was like after like a couple of years of like waiting for the product, and so we don't want that to be the case, absolutely, especially since I'm seeing that recently. But also, we just want to be able to get it to you sooner. So yes, there's a couple of ways that you can support in that.
Yeah, and so like we were talking about in chat, those of you who are chatting away, it is pumpkin spice season. It is coffee season. We don't have pumpkin spice per se, however, we do have Coffee of the Realm, which is our Everlast themed coffee. We have eight different roasts with our partnership with Roastify Coffee. It is currently still on sale in the Coffee of the Realm shop. So it's, I believe, $16.89 per bag, which is way cheaper than it was. I think the base price is $20 some odd cents. So it's like $4 off, which is really, really good. And again, we have 8 different blends from light roast to dark roast, and we even have a decaf roast, which is pretty cool. And they're based off of different places around Everlast. So that's pretty cool. So you can learn a little bit more about the different areas of Everlast. You get to see some of the exclusive art that your guys' financial support has been going towards. And it's also just really good coffee if you like coffee. If you don't like coffee, but you like ambiance, whether it's for your tabletop RPGs that you're playing or you just want your house to smell nice, we got a couple things called Fragrances of the Realm. So it's our candle line. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is our library coffee. It's probably my favorite one that we have, but it's based off of the Brimberdale Library, which is an area, again, in Everlast, an exclusive Everlast art. Oh, smells like coffee. And we also have our fall exclusive scent. Speaking of PSL, I mean, it's not PSL, it's like apple orchard kind of smell, but it's Shiloh Harvest, which is an area that we've been to in Everlast. It smells so good. So consider getting those, especially for the exclusive fall candle. It's only going to be around through November. So consider getting it before then. It helps support, again, the art of Everlast, but it also smells good, and it'll help your tabletop RPG ambiance, or just have your house smell good. But I can't think of anything else. We do upload to YouTube, so make sure to check out our YouTube channel. Go subscribe so you never miss an upload, especially if you can't be here live all the time. That's where we do upload. And our Twitch, yeah, give us a follow on Twitch. We stream a lot, so especially if you like tabletop RPGs, we're gonna be definitely continuing those into the future. And we got a bunch of like RPG series and just fun stuff on the side, so consider giving us a follow. And with that aside, I can't think of anything else, Kyle. Anything that you can think of? Cole is streaming on
Mario
Thursday.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can't hear you, but oh yeah.
So. Oh gosh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna be herding some weird mice things and doing some slightly questionable things to some diva ghosts.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Sometimes you just gotta squeeze them tight. Sometimes you gotta squeeze them tight.
There's some things in this game that I'm like, it's a little okay. That's a little weird.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's good.
It's rated E for everyone. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, Cole streams on our channel. We all 3 stream on the channel. Hopefully I can be back by October. That's my goal. I know I said I'm going to be stepping away from a little while for streaming. The main reason for it is partially I need to get a bunch of stuff done behind the scenes to kind of get the infrastructure in place for us to grow. But also I need a new computer, unfortunately. My current computer has been having some major issues with streaming recently. And so until I can afford a new computer, I will not be streaming on my end. However, we may have some series where I may be part of a stream in the future.
Yeah, you could go ahead and announce that. Just do it, because I think we're ready for that when the time comes.
Yeah, so as Kyle mentioned, we're going to be moving some stream times around every now and then. But it's one thing we've been actually wanting to do for a little while. It's just trying to find the time to do it. Has been tough. But I... and Kyle on Fridays, every Friday we do Everlast, right?
I think every Friday of Everlast, yes.
Every Friday of Everlast, which is twice a month. On Kyle's new normal Friday morning stream as opposed to his Sunday morning stream. He's moving his stream from Sunday to Friday. American time.
I guess which would be Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah. Thursday night, yes, that is correct. So Thursday night our time Friday morning his time, and then yeah. Anyways, changing the streams. We are going to be doing Final Fantasy 14. Both Kyle and I are going to be co-oping it, which is going to be really fun. So Kyle's going to be streaming it, but I'm going to be on here as well, and we're going to be playing some Final Fantasy 14. Since I've really sat down and played, 2 expansions have come out. So
Yes,
I think
so
Kyle,
what was it? Not Shadowbringers. Dawn.
that was the last one we did.
Dawn Trail is the
Dawn
newest
Trail's the
one.
new one, but then the Moon one too. I forget what it's called, but that one we need to play through. So we actually haven't done it. So we're gonna be doing a bunch of story stuff with our characters.
Yeah, we still have our house.
Cole's
in the guild.
I've been Cole's in the guild. His character dancing Link. Freaking G is what he is. But our but our character I've been paying for a subscription all through the time I was in Japan, just so we could keep our house, because it's impossible. I don't know if you know this, Cole, now how they've changed the housing system. It's basically impossible to get houses now, so we have a hot commodity.
Sick.
So yeah, we have that. Anyways, though, we're gonna be doing that twice a month, on the days that or on the weeks that we have Everlast. So come join us for that. I know some of you out there may not be into MMORPGs. This is a great way to get introduced to it and just have fun and hang out with us. It's definitely gonna be a lot more low key.
Yeah, it'll be laid back. It'll be kind of similar to like the Coalforge Great Axe stuff back in the day, where it's just like 2 people hanging out. You come hang out with us while we play awesome games.
Yep. And speaking of which, we may be starting up Coalforge Great Axe as well in the near future. More details to come on that until things get sorted out. But for now, it's looking like it's going to be Kyle's old stream time on Sundays, but that could change. Who knows? So a couple new things coming, which is going to be really, really fun. So aside from that, I can't think of anything else. Anything for you, Kyle or Cole?
Are we doing any raids?
We are doing a raid. So we're going to be doing Sir Pfeffers. He is a guy who's playing Dungeons and Dragons right now. So
yes, stay with us. If you guys have the raid emote, spam that sucker. Share the Fantasy Forge love. That's what we're here for. We're getting people 10 out of 10 on their day, including other streamers. So that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. Are we ready?
All right. I think that's it. May the road go ever onward and onward. I will see you all later. Pray for me. I'm praying for you. Pray for each other. And I'll catch you tonight for some more Wilderland adventures. Our second to last episode of Wilderland Adventures. See you guys then.